Hey, I can't hear me. Let me see if I take these out, if that works. Tuesday. Long time no see. I don't have comments on, so if you're talking to me, I can't even hear what you're saying. There's Yank. You're the first one you win buoy prizes. Nobody's here. Nobody wants to be here. I take a week off and look what happens. How dare me? And you get to hear nasally me today, and I'm so sorry, but that's just the way it is. Hey, Andy. How are you? So I'm going to play. Hey, Mary. I want to play something so I can tell whether my audio's working. Y'all let me know. Oh, you gotta get that. I heard that. That's really weird. I don't understand what the deal is. My earphones just hate me today. Yeah, they definitely do. Okay, so anyway, as long as you guys can hear me until somebody comes on, and then I think I have to put in my earphones, otherwise it echoes. Not earphones, whatever those fucking things are called. You know. Oh, a whole bunch of people just showed up. Oh, Flatty. Honey, I've been worried about you. I hope you're doing good. And I hope that your daughter is recovering and getting better day by day. Please, dear Lord. I know that she's okay with me saying something because she has said it on another live. Flatty's daughter ate a chicken sandwich that had a piece of metal in it that ended up going into her esophagus. And I think she damn near died. Earbuds, thank you, Kat. But thank goodness she was able to have surgery. And as far as I know, she is doing good. And I'm going to keep praying that she will continue to do good. Dear Lord. Ugh, scared the daylights out of me when Vladdy told me. Okay, so I'm going to try not to sniffle as well. It's the weirdest thing because here's all that's wrong is I have a stuffed up nose. My ears are stuffed up. And I feel like somebody's got a vice on my head. But otherwise, I don't really feel bad. It's kind of weird. It makes you kind of annoyed, though, because it's like a headache that wants to be there, but it's not. So we're just going to ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. And maybe it'll fucking go away. Because it's a little frustrating. Especially to talk. Okay, I was saying my haze. And I believed I stopped at Miss Flatty. It was good you watched the whole discussion last night. Yeah, I don't plan on playing it because, as you guys know, every time I try to do something like that, it gets glitchy. So I won't play it. Most of you guys have seen it. So I just kind of wanted to chit-chat about it, and I kind of wanted to know everybody's thoughts about both sides, because what I do like to see is where both people can agree and also disagree on certain subjects. And so to watch them go back and forth, explaining what they agreed and disagreed with was, I have to say it was a bit refreshing, because it was like finally, and maybe like real people that know how to carry on a true conversation with, you know, um, like Trump has no filter, and Elon, I think, works at trying to have one. But um, yeah, it was actually, like I said, and we all know how I feel. It's not that I don't like Elon as much as I don't agree with some of the shit he does. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because really, the discussion isn't about Elon; it's more about Trump. Of course, unless he hires Elon to be one of his cronies, which I'm not so certain that didn't happen. Like, um, and I missed the very end of it, so y'all might be have information that I don't have. Anne, how are you? Yankee says 5 by 5 on his end. Yay. And sugar britches. And cat. Yeah, earbuds. And who else? 1E. How are you, darling? And I'm looking. I'm making sure I got everybody. And anybody else that hasn't chatted in the chat, because obviously I have not said hello to 18 people. So, whoever you are, hey, lurkers. Fools is probably one of them. Oh, good Lord. That's going to be stuff about tomorrow morning. Okay. Now this eyeball wants to water. That it didn't even start till now. Fun fact, Elon and I went to the same university. Really, Andy, that's trippy. I heard that Musk has extended an invitation to Camel to do an interview with him. I seen that. Hey, crazy hillbilly. What's up? Well, at least he was honest. Hey, PA, what's up? I did feel like I said, I think that was pretty refreshing to actually watch them go back and forth and say, like, Elon would go, yeah, 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 but, and then he'd, you know, say what he disagreed with it. And like I said, that was kind of, it was kind of good to see for a change. Because we usually don't get that. We usually get, yes, that's the other Andy, just so y'all know. It's the other Portland Andy, not Portland Andy. I think now the other Portland Andy has taken over Portland Andy's appearances. So now Portland Andy don't have to show up. Yeah, Portland Andy's even a mod for Portland Andy. So how you know that's not Portland Andy is because he doesn't put the hot dog there. Macklin, what's up? How are you, darling? You should panel up and discuss the interview with Gigi. That's right. I would so let you, Yank. Well, he already knows that. He already knows. He can come anytime he wants. Well, I mean, he can come here anytime he wants. He's going to make up the mind with, with the missus, whether it's anytime he wants. That guy. Yeah. Yeah. You know. You know the thing. Okay, so did anybody see the picture of camel toe that they put on? I think it was Time magazine. And somebody said it looked like Melania. I'm like, are you out of your rabbit ass mind? Not even on her best day with the best makeup artist could she manage that. Hush your mouth, sugar britches. She already sent me the link with a nude pic. I did. I thought that would, get you going. I'm unburdened by what has been. Yes, he knows. Oh, my poor nose. I am sick of it already. I don't understand why I have to be sick. It's not even really like I'm sick. Like, it's just inconveniences. Like, it's not even sick. It is really hard to sleep, though. I'm surprised I wasn't able to like pack some clothes in these fuckers today because I did not get very much sleep. Hey Austin, what's up? Yeah, so Harley Dad, what's up? Gonna go see a movie. I'll come up when we get home. Okay, if I'm still here, because you hear how I'm talking. I'm not sure how long everybody wants to hear the nasally gutter talk. It did gutter, so I'm busy with the Vaseline, but I'll come up. What do we? What? Oh, soft music or what? Fucking yank. Aw, Harley, look at that. 6 months he's been a member. Thank you, Harley Dad. Hey, Ty Sport, what's up? Um, so, what else do I know? Um, so like I said, as I watched the whole, I missed the very end of it, but as I watched it, I feel like it was the same thing that Trump has said before. I feel like he was really relaxed, like he was able to really become relaxed in his conversation, like he wasn't, you know, um, under a microscope so much. It was kind of weird though how it took so freaking long for them to get it up. I think I'm breaking out in hives on my arms and chest. No joke. I'll trade my itching for your stuffiness. Would you really though? It's highly. Oh, it's such an inconvenience. I can't even tell you. Who the hell wants to blow their nose every 5 minutes? If they don't, they sound like this. I've been going around spraying everything. P Digits, what's up? Bleaching everything. I thought I got bleach on my shirt, but I think I missed it. Because I really didn't want my grandson and my granddaughter to get sick. So yeah. The other thing, what was the other thing that I was going to talk to you guys about? There was something else. It was big too. Well, it wasn't really big, but well, number one, I never got to go camping. Just so y'all know, I'm grieving. It's probably why I got sick, huh? Because I didn't get to use my RV. It's all Marv's fault. I blame him. And that's it. Uh-oh, I got one less person watch. It was probably Marv. He's probably like, you ain't listening to you then. Nah, he wouldn't do that. He's probably not listening. Um, okay. Let me look here. I'll just pull this up. It's easier than me glitching it out. You look so much like my grandmother when she was in her 40s. Oh, thank you. thank you very much. I'm going to say that I'm flattered. It's kind of weird how many people say, you look just like my sister or ex, or when they say ex, I always think I should duck. Hey, Beer, what's up? That's right. I am only in my 30s. I'm at 39, but I mean, if he says 40, I'll take it. Thanks, Andy. That's awesome. PA. I'm going to have to see. I'm going to have to. Don't take gutters sending me a nude of you personally. You're magnificent. Right? He'd get him too. Okay. So, while I was, I figure out how to get this bitch to home. There's that to home. There we go. I see Portland Andy's live right now. PA, did you go over there and tell him that he needs to go unlive and send all his people over to me? You did, right? I mean, I know you're his namesake, but you need to tell him that he needs to close up shop and he needs to have everybody come over here. What's he doing? He's in Reno. Yes, tell him. Yes, get him. I don't know. He's wait. I don't think it's. That's what I should do. If I didn't glitch so much, I would restream him, just for him streaming while I'm streaming. What's he saying?
1 a.m. It's not too bad.
Okay, we're gonna listen here for a second.
What up, Gutter's Pub in the house? The Gutter Pub clan, gotta love them. Gotta love them.
Oh, he ain't gonna say no more.
That's right, Bubba's. DNC should be.
His chat's probably flying by. Anyway, I will turn that down. I always have to go, lurk in his stuff. Her name is Rio. So there was a couple. What was the other thing that I seen? There was something else big. When I seen it was when I was last night. When I was watching Winning Reality, and I seen a bunch of my OGs over there. And there was a bunch. I was all impressed that y'all went over there. That was pretty cool. I know you didn't go because of me, but I was still impressed. Oh, and Joey's live right now, just so y'all know.
You can do it.
I think so. And BVD, everybody's live. But none of them are as good looking as me, so. Seriously. I've seen that, Andy. Yes, you're in trouble, Nick. That's it. No, you're not in trouble. Well, unless you want to be. Unless you need a spanking or something specific. And then I can, by all means, help you out with your spanking. But, I know that Mrs. Yank is more than capable of it. Beer. Why, thank you, Andy. Don't look too close then, because you might run. um, so I was gonna go. We were supposed to go camping this last 2 weeks, which was kind of my whole reason for being off. Or for going on vacation, or for being away from here, was because I was going to. We were taking our friend that I said was here out of town, that had been out of town. And we were going to go to Kanita Hot Springs. Let me just tell you something about little Kanita Hot Springs. First of all, I didn't get to go because my rig, something's going on with the ass end of it. The brakes. So it's going back into the shop. And then our towable, which is Chevy Tracker, has to go in the shop and be completely rewired back to front. Whole thing. See, this is what happens when you buy shit and you think you're getting a good deal. Like everybody still says, oh, even when you get that rewired, I mean, that rig's going to be worth like $10,000. I'm thinking they're crazy, but then they show me numbers and those numbers match. So rewiring's only going to cost us like $300 or $400. Dude, you'd have to pay me probably $3 or $4 grand to rewire anything. Are you crazy? Rewiring? That seems like a huge job, but they say it's pretty easy. Anyway, and then the big rig, the dually, our motorhome, the seals keep leaking in the ass end of it. So that's got to go back in. So we never got to go. I've camped with it once this year. I'm getting a little pissy. I've been watching vids by this woman who reviewed RVs and people's problems with them. Holy shit. I'd never own one now. Oh, nah. I still own one. However, there is a little bit, now mind you, I love this rig. This rig is super nice and it just needs some care. For one, the things that we thought that he had probably paid attention to, he really didn't. And so now we're having to deal with those things. Once those few things are dealt with, I think we'll be fine. Like, for instance, let me just tell you that he told us, oh, there's these bars that you put in the slide out so they won't slide out while you're going down the road. Well, not only do they do that, but just while they're sitting still, no, it's like they just all of a sudden go, and they come undone. Like they'll come out like this far. It's like, what the hell? So we found the slide out locks that you put in it. Once I get used to it, they'll be fairly easy. It took me a little bit today to get them figured out. And Marvin figured out that the ends of them screw away so that you could get it super tight in there. So once we figured that out, it was pretty easy. And we was able to get them in there, and it was nice to move it. And when we got to our storage spot, they hadn't moved at all. So it was really nice to know that they hadn't moved. So that was cool. And then, what else? So just getting that done was, a major pain, because here's the deal. In 2 days, we have to take it someplace to have the shop look at it. And then the Chevy Tracker is going into a shop to have the wiring done. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going camping. Damn it, I don't care. I'm sick of this. And I'm not going when it's raining either. I'm I'm so frustrated. I know I should be a grown up, but I don't want to be. I want to throw a fit. I want to be pissed off that I don't get to use my toy. I mean, this was not a cheap toy. It's a diesel dually. This bitch costs a lot of money, even for 2006. It was not cheap. So I want to use it. You need a mechanic and a fire pit. Well, I have the mechanic, but I mean, he can work on airplanes all day long, but a fucking diesel is a total different breed of cats, and there's so much more into it. And, you just gotta, I need somebody, here's what I need to do. And I told him this from the get go, and now I think I'm going to put it in my own hands, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to take it in, and we're going to say, okay, we want you to look through everything and tell us everything that's wrong. This is what we should have done before we ever bought it. And then we can go, okay, these are the things that are priorities that need to be done sooner than later. And here's the other shit that needs to be done, later. So, anyway. So, now you know why you're talking to me today and not out. And I'm not out camping because of this. Because of all that shit. But anyways, at least I can hang with you guys. Marv's playing with his toy. He's out playing at the hangar with his airplane. He probably sabotaged my RV so he could go play with his airplane now. No, he didn't. He knows better. I'm not in Discord anymore. I'll try to remember to put her channel in the comments here tomorrow. Whose? Oh, the RV lady? Well, I think with any RV, you just gotta. No, here's the one thing I can tell you is I don't care what your husband, your significant other, or what you yourself believe. Do not buy one without a legitimate inspection done on it. By a legitimate inspector. You have to. So, just saying, don't ever buy without doing that. So back on topic, so I don't lose everybody. Gonna go eat dinner. Have a good night, ladies and gents. All right, PA. Thanks for coming over and hanging out with us. We're just gonna sit here and bullshit. Partially of which is going to be about, obviously, Trump and Elon and all of that. Hire your own inspector. Well, that's the whole point. We should have hired somebody and just said, okay, so what? That he can't do it for 2 weeks. We're gonna hire an inspector and have it inspected before we bought it. And then here's the other thing that happens with that, because now they go over everything with you about the RV. So you already know before you ever get it what that list is of shit that you need to do to fix it. You already know. Hey, AMC, what's up? Because if you don't, it's like going in blind. It's just, you're totally blind. Hey, illiterate. Yeah, the interview did happen. It was a good interview. I think it lasted about an hour. And it was a good interview. I mean, he was able to speak freely about everything he wanted to speak about. There's things I'll say it again, I don't agree on certain things. With him, things that Trump says or what Elon says. So, I mean, but we all wouldn't be human if we agreed with everything. So, was it 2 hours? I could have sworn when I looked at it, it said like an hour and 6 minutes. But like 58 minutes of it was him waiting, or I don't know, 38 minutes or something. Waiting to get, I don't know. Something happened. They couldn't get, for some reason. They gave some off-known reason why they couldn't start. I mean, off-the-wall fucking reasons. Something happened. I don't know what that was. You were kind of fast. Yeah, I I actually got in late to Winnings. I think before I, you know, was able to see it, but I was able to watch a little bit of it. Marvin, I think, sat and listened to more of it than I did, and he forgets to like read your guys' comments. I'm like, dude, look who all's in there. He's like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, Yank's there, Sugar Bridges is there, everybody's there, Bobby's there. Flatty wasn't there. But there was a lot of you guys there. I was impressed. I used to live on space calls before YouTube. AMC, I'm so fucking confused. Okay. I used to live on space calls before YouTube. I was a space call. I was on space call when Twitter took my first account. Okay, I get it. I get it. Okay, okay, okay. Didn't even know there was such a thing as space call. See, learn something new every day. I wasn't a Twitter person though. I had one account and I went over there and tried to look at some shit and I never could figure it out, so I gave up. And then I ended up going back. Now I'm on Twitter as Gutter's Pub. Hey, Wanda, you were watching over on Winnings. He had quite a few in there. I was impressed. That was good. Those are all good peeps over there. All of them. And Shelly is an absolute doll. You know who hasn't come in here yet is Arby. And I need to get him in contact with Winning. Boy, I just had 6 people just drop off. It's okay. The 24 most important stayed here. So, Beans, I can't live stream this to Twitter anymore. I just post it and say, yo, we're there. Come over here. I know. I hardly ever see you, AMC. I love Twitter more than any other. I know. You know, in fact, YouTube just taught me today on how to put those slide locks on. Like, I could have probably spent the time trying to find the right information in my file it's like, I don't know, a little file thing full of motorhome shit, but I just didn't have the patience for it. So I just Googled it and sure shit, it pulled it. Well, I YouTubed it and it pulled it right out. I know I always miss you, AMC. I never see you. Sorry, I'm yawning. It is. Yeah, Marvin's finally starting to realize that the more he uses YouTube for, shit that he needs to find out how to do, he realizes that it's just, it makes you a success even when you didn't think you could be. You're like, you had no idea how to even remotely do it, and then pretty soon you YouTube it and you're like, oh shit, I think I can handle this. Arby is in the house.
Yo, what's up?
What's up?
How's everybody doing?
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys? How's the chat? Baxter says hi.
Baxter needs a treat.
No shit. That's exactly what we came over for.
Yeah. I've been talking about everything but what we're supposed to be talking about, but it's okay.
That's Life just goes where it goes. Plans are,
Yeah. It's all organic, isn't that what they say?
people make plans, life happens.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I'm just, sitting around here with a nasally voice and I'm sick of it.
Allergies, cold.
I think it's kind of,
Oh, did you get COVID? Oh no.
well, it's like I said, it's a snotty nose and my head, my ears are stuffed up or plugged. And I feel kind of like I have a vice on my head, like right about here.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I'm fine. I mean, I don't feel shitty like normally I would feel like this is part of it that I don't understand. I'm like normally I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, my head." You'd be kind of in a cloud. I really don't feel like that, even though my ears are plugged and my nose is plugged.
Well, my prescription is a decongestant, a Tylenol containing one, and a nice cup of tea with lemon and honey, and a Baxter head to rub.
Yeah.
That's,
Well,
that's my in
what
lieu
I
of
what I should have done was got out the amaretto out of my RV before I took it back to storage, and um, I have been taking Claritin and ibuprofen. So
those are things.
those are things. Oh, Yankees is his prescription is warm blackberry brandy. Warm, huh? I don't have blackberry brandy, but man, that kind of sounds good. Like blackberry, yum. Hey, a foreigner telling the truth in the Philippines. How are ya? It is 5:30 in the afternoon here. So we're not quite evening, but we're headed there. Tylenol is acetaminophen, Flatty.
Yeah, ibuprofen is paracetamol, or acetaminophen is. I'm so tired. Tylenol is acetaminophen. Yeah, that's paracetamol.
Oh, I don't know what a paracetamol is.
It's just
I
that's
know
just
that
what they
it's
call it.
it's acetaminophen. And I know that Advil is ibuprofen. And Advil will reduce the inflammation, where Tylenol don't do that shit for me.
Yeah, they're just weird over there. They just call things by different names. I don't get them.
Right.
They stick beans on toast. They drink tea. Weird people.
They don't say pounds, do they? They don't use pounds and they don't use miles. Right?
Mm-hmm.
All those things.
Although the metric system does kind of make more sense than the system we use.
Especially since we're the only one that decided we just had to be the fucking oddballs out, by all means.
Yeah, I'll give them that. They got that one right.
They're like, we're the only one with these tattoos. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, they do use pounds as their money. It's true.
Oh, you do pounds as money, though, right? We do pounds as that's what's on my ass.
Oh, and I do like that they can say like all the bad words here that we're not allowed to say, just casually for the hell of it.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Like they're saying cat, they can say the other C word, like nothing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I'm pretty sure that my mom would still belt me for saying that, regardless of what country we were in.
You can call cigarettes by the best name.
What?
They can call cigarettes by their best name.
Uh-huh. You mean they can call cigarettes fags?
Exactly.
Yeah, my husband calls them that.
the best name for a cigarette.
Every time I would go smoke one, he'd say, "You're gonna go suck off a fag." I'm like, fuck you, dick.
So what y'all been up to? Oh, Yank's here. Hi, Yank. Talking
Yank.
about laws.
Are we talking about Aussies? We're talking about whatever pops up. Oh, wait. Go back. I said that wrong, didn't I? We're talking
The
about
UK. The UK.
whatever.
The UK.
Or the UK. Well, yeah. Aussies or UK. I don't know. Does it? I mean, I better not say does it matter because I know Flatty's going to go, yeah, it does matter.
Well, look,
Dummy.
one lives in a tyranny, and one is about to live in a tyranny, or is basically living in one for the past month and is going to continue living one for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, basically the same thing. It doesn't really matter. If you live in a state in which there, or like a country where they're going to arrest you for what you post on Facebook, then yeah, you all fall in the same category.
Mm-hmm.
You fall in the same category as fucking Iran, where they do the same shit, except they happen to kill you there. They don't just arrest you.
Foreigner
Look.
says 52 years of smoking has basically killed me. I have end stage 4 emphysema and can hardly breathe anymore. Stop smoking. No shit. My mom had the same thing. So
Oh, I don't
I
smoke
feel
cigarettes.
for you, darling. Yep. I quit 2016, November 9th. Yep, I did. Never took another drag off another one, and I won't because it was way too easy to quit. And I feel like if I take one drag, I'll be in like Flint again. Nope, ain't going there. I didn't make the rules, all the laws, and I damn well don't agree with him either. Oh, I know, sweetheart. My car apparently goes faster in kilometers. Fucking yank.
Yeah, but I don't think it gets any better or use less gas. I think you're still going the same distance with the same amount of gas.
Swearing on the street is now illegal. Also, I've heard it's getting crazy here. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so is having a spoon. If you look at the pictures from like the confiscated weapons by the police.
You know what's amazing though? You can now here. You can. So, do you guys do naked bicycling there, Flatty? Like, is that all okay? So you guys can, ride your bicycle down the street with your wing, damn near getting caught in the spokes. But you, by all means, you better not say fuck out on the street. Shut up, Yank. Fuck you. That's different.
I mean, I don't think your lungs see it differently. I'm just saying.
They do.
Uh-huh.
They
Tell
do.
yourself. That's what we all tell ourselves.
That's right. And I use a water filter. Hey, Rhett.
And
Oh,
but-
see, Patty said they have naked beaches. See? But you can't say shit out of. Oh my god.
yeah, you can be naked, but do you say anything bad about a
Yes.
but you say anything bad about a Muslim and they'll come arrest you. In fact, Flat, you better be careful with what we say. They might come arrest you just for listening.
That would really suck, though. Platty, just remember what has Rick always told you. Don't answer the door. Don't ever answer the door for them.
Look, Yank, I'm willing to own up. That's why I said I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke as much as I used to, but I do enjoy other things besides cigarettes, tobacco, whatever.
The question was if I smoked cigarettes. There was no, I'm sorry, but you don't get to change the rules in the middle of the game. Hey, foreigner, I'm glad you came by, honey. You're cooking. Oh, you're cooking brekkie. Oh, listen, I can almost say it. I'm cooking brekkie for a subscriber who drove 14 hours to come see me. Cheers right now. Wow. Cheerio for now. That's awesome. Right on. Well, enjoy.
Just don't eat the subscriber for breakfast. You know,
Well,
you hear creepy things from down under.
if you do, just make
Oh
sure
wait,
you
I mean from
stream
the
it.
Philippines. Sorry, I forgot what.
If you do, just stream it, okay?
Yeah, but do it on like Facebook or whatever, because you know that's where you're supposed to do that kind of stuff.
Yank, a fly has probably not been here in, I don't know, a couple weeks. He gets really busy, and then he'll have off times where he's not. And then Blunt Man's same way. Look at Blunt's here. They get busy. They have lives. And so I try to take that into account and try not to take it, personally that they're not here. I try to understand. The only one I take personally is Bobby. I know he's butthurt. He'll get over it though. He knows I'm his internet mama and I'll whoop his ass and love him all in one shot. This is a foreigner telling the truth. Enjoy your brekkie. That's right. That is a foreigner.
I have a question. I mean, what do they eat for breakfast in the Philippines? Oh, they're gone, but I'm curious. Just like we just eat sugar basically. That's what Americans eat for breakfast. Sugar and some like bacon or sausage or whatever.
I don't know. I worked with a lot of Filipinos and I seen them eat some weird shit before.
I mean,
but
in like the UK, they eat like I don't know, beans and sausages, and like more beans, some bread, you know, not too different.
Look who's here. He called us homos.
Oh look, there's
Tony the homo called us a homo.
Projection.
Flag crew must be making good tips as a gay captain on his gay cruise ship. Probably. I would guess. That's what I would definitely guess.
Oh, Tony, if it's sausage that you're making for me, I'll have it anytime.
That's right.
It doesn't just have to be for breakfast.
And you can put whatever sauce on it you want, Tony. Oh, now he's gonna ignore us because he's thinking about it.
He's just working on it good, you know.
Tony's another one we don't see every time. Like he gets a life and we won't see him for a few weeks, and then pretty soon he'll pop his head in and go, "Oh, look it's dark in here."
It's just because his brother works him hard.
Flatty.
Do you like your sausages thick too? Or are you into those more like mini sausages?
She likes girthy sausages. She got a big mouth. She likes girthy sausages.
Yeah. Let me guess, Slatty. The next thing you're going to say is how much you love breakfast in bed. What, Brent, is he paying you to simp for him? I don't buy this. I don't buy this for an instant. No, we got to call up his brother and tell him to work harder.
Bobby got hurt because I told him that he could come on panel. I told everybody you can come on panel, but you can't talk over each other. And that he said, "Well, fuck that. I don't want to get up there then." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry for your luck. You ain't gonna talk over people." So he didn't come up. And then a few weeks later, he came up. He got over it. I think he's just busy a lot with his new girlfriend. He a family man now. Timbers, what's up? Oh, yeah. Fly's also training for marathons. He is. Can you imagine the stamina of that boy? Oh. Uh-oh. What was that? That was...
Oh, that's Mr. Baxter behind me scratching.
Oh.
I finally got to the bottom, I think, of what was going on with his ear. I think he had some mites, so I've been treating them, and he's been scratching his ears less. But it's been at least 12 hours since he got the ear drops, so he's starting to itch again. So.
BitChute won't allow the video of the interview on your channel? Well, that's weird. Do you have Twitter, Timber?
No, Yank, I'm smart enough to mute my mic if I'm going to get busy over here while we're on the stream. I'm not going to pull a tubing. Not going to catch me tubing in. Tubing in. Oh,
Tubing
whatever.
out loud. He ain't going to tubing out loud. Mishka! Yeah, don't think too hard about... Careful. LW! What's up?
Look, I know the old rule. If you're not wearing pants, you don't turn your video on. That's why my video is always off, because I don't wear pants. This is a pants optional house.
He's a
Baxter doesn't wear
pantsless
pants.
man.
Nah, I'm wearing pants at the moment. I'm wearing shorts, actually, to be specific. But Baxter ain't wearing pants, and he's a very modest man, so can't show him off through.
They got their lipsticks out. Neither of them got pants on. Their lipsticks are out.
Did you? I assume you saw, but my two favorite memes from the Olympics are the silver medalist guy that from Turkey, the shooter, all the memes surrounding him, and this Australian quote unquote breakdancer. It's hilarious.
Ugh. I don't.
Did you see her?
I don't think I've seen it.
You haven't. You haven't seen that?
I don't think so. Oh, Jesus. I just love how these kids never understand what Tuesdays is. Gutter, can you go to the merch channel?
I have to find a good version of it, but I'm gonna find a version of it because
where's all the other stuff, or just problem on my end? No, honey. Right now I do not have nothing but the Hawk Tuya on there because because I am doing a different logo, and so Inya, I'm trying to give you a just a minute. I'm trying to give you a wrench, Inya. So I'm trying to get my new logo done, and these guys are taking forever, but I mean, they are getting it done, but Jesus, Christmas is coming. So I've been trying to get them to hurry up, and as soon as they get that done, then I'm hoping to get on there and get a bunch of it out of the way, because we are way behind. Inya. Add as moderator. There we go. There you go, Inya. Okay. So yeah, as soon as I get that logo done right now, so I know you guys seen the flames one. I'm actually having the flaming legs. I'm having that background taken out because they put flames back there. So they sent me one with a black background and a white background and just the legs and the name. But I'm not sure. I may have to have them make me a border around it so that it stops somewhere. Because I don't want just a big black screen, on a t-shirt with the legs on it. So I'm going to have to figure that out. But Joey may know how to fix that problem. I'm not sure. Okay. Remember Dan okay, so who did I miss? You got to bounce Timber. I just wanted to say hi and hit the like button and see y'all soon. Okay, Timber. Sorry, it got boring here. American blacks were losing their minds over Reagan. The Aussies. I did see that, Yank.
Okay. I here, let me share this real quick.
Mishka, you don't have a link, Mishka? Well, just a minute. Flatty, didn't I send you the link? Why didn't I send it to Mishka? So I don't have to open up. Oh, wait, I might be able to do it from my phone.
Okay. So, are we ready?
Oh, sorry.
This is what somebody that can actually break dance that the Olympics look like.
I did see that.
Right?
Right. I seen the one that acted stupid.
Yeah. This is what I was talking about. Let me hang on. Or whatever. It's crazy.
Right. That's what somebody said, that they were making. She was
from the boxing.
Well, whoever. I think they
one of the men from the women.
Yeah, I thought that was. I don't know. When I seen that, I was. Here's the deal: once the bullshit started with the Olympics at the very beginning, then I tuned them out. Like Marvin had him going the other night, and I was like, "Well, I'm going in my office. Thanks. Have a good night." There, watching that shit.
I mean, I just have watched clips. I'm not watching it on TV or whatever. I got better shit to do with my time.
Better shit to do with my time. Mishka, I sent it to you.
Now I don't do that better stuff I have to do with my time. I waste most of my time, but I do technically have better things I can do with my time than watch the Olympics.
A PhD in culture movements. It's so silly. Oh, fuck. You mean it? Who stole your shit? Tony?
Oh, those were Tony's dance moves.
Chick. I got it.
Tony, did you call it the kangaroo hop also, or is it like, I don't know. Are there any Mexican animals that hop? I'm struggling here.
So today we were watching, actually it was yesterday, we seen where these roofers were roofing this new house, right? A few doors down. And they're kind of cattywampus from us, so we can see them pretty good out our sliding glass doors. And we're watching them. They pulled everything off yesterday off of one whole side. And then they put all the paper on. Oh, first of all, they replaced the press plyboard that was up there with real plywood. And then they papered it. And then today we watched them take shingles from the other side of the roof and slide them down that part of the roof that they just papered yesterday. Well, how do you think that paper fared? I mean, if you're taking shingles and sliding them down this paper, that now the paper has holes in it. Fuck. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's just irritating as hell. How do you not? I mean, really?
I mean, did you pay them to think, or did you pay them to,
Huh?
clearly they didn't think. Clearly you didn't pay them enough to think.
Clearly they didn't. What? Why is it cutting out?
I don't know.
Mishka, it says you're not connected. Devices not connected. Oh, there. There we go, darling. How are you?
Hello.
It's weird. We can't hear you. Oh, she's going to come back.
Blunt Man, to answer your question about eggplants, I'm sorry about the banging.
He's
yeah,
almost there. Just give him a minute.
Two situations in which individuals had rings stuck on their eggplants. One metal that went to the OR because he was freaking out too much to do it, not with him knocked out. And one that was plastic that was easy to snip off.
Okay. Now can we hear?
A ring on an eggplant is supposed to stop the blood from leaving the eggplant. So if it works a little too well, you have a problem.
I think we can hear you now, Mishka. Did we just hear you?
For a second.
It's really weird because I could have swore we just heard her.
Testing.
There you go.
Okay.
I can hear you now.
Now we hear you.
So how I had to jump in because I saw Yank was on, and I owe him a big apology.
Oh, okay. Well, you should
Because
make
I
him.
jumped on him when we had asked, when did the America and everything start going downhill, and Yank has always touted that is when women have gotten the vote. And I owe him an apology because these bitches around here are going to get Kamala as our next president. And the only reason they have is she's a woman.
Yep.
Not that eggs are $6. Not that I, with health coverage, mortgages. I mean, we're all in the same boat. But that's all they have to say is they need a woman. I don't care if Bozo the Clown is president, as long as we're safe and the whole list, because we all kind of believe in the same thing. So, Yank, I'm sorry.
But then you'll be on the right side of history because you'll vote for the first black female president, and you'll get to keep Orange Hitler out of his chance to be a dictator. You saw that video, 2028, 2032, 2036. I don't know. Don't you want to be on the right side of history? No, I'm not selling it well enough. Shit.
No.
I'm trying to get a job in the mainstream media. I hear they pay pretty well. I mean, I can compromise all my morals like them.
That's right. That's right. I'm still thinking a weatherman is probably your best option. I mean, hell. Now you can almost predict it by all the shit that they do. Who needs a farm tractor mower? No apology necessary, my dear. I appreciate it. Repeal that amendment.
It's really getting nasty here in New York.
Yeah, I think it's going to get a lot nastier before it ever gets better, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere.
These blue states that have been shipping in illegals and have been letting people out of prison, not enforcing laws.
Yep.
It's like it's gonna come. Like shit's gonna hit the fan eventually. It's just like in healthcare. Like if you don't take care of yourself, it might be in your 40s, it might be in your 50s, but if you're fat and overweight your whole life, it's gonna catch up with you eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have a reason. If somebody asked me why I would vote for Trump, listen, I think he's a narcissist and whatever the deal is, but at least I felt safe when he was president. Eggs were like $1.55. Gas was, I think, under $2. And we were safe. We didn't have millions of undocumented illegals coming across the border, you know. But they just tout the same thing. Oh, he's a felon. Like they have a playbook. And I'm not even talking about people on TV, just people in the street and Starbucks or whatever. They just say the same thing. Like they can't give a reason why they're voting for the Kamala ticket. You know, they just say like Trump is somehow, he personally is going to overthrow the government. And I'm like, how? And they can't answer that.
Well, it's crazy to me because the media is essentially just running this campaign for her where they go, we're going to ask her questions. Kamala, when are you going to ask questions? Are you going to take a debate? You know, those aren't questions.
Right.
They're not pushing her. They're just repeating these idiotic lines from the campaign, just like they did for the White House. I mean, when you have the media covering for you, you can pull off a 90-day campaign where you hide and let everyone else walk back your crazy progressive ideas that got you, ignored and booted out in 2020 election cycle. But this is why, like, the Trump campaign needs to push this stuff and get her to have to show her face and speak for herself, and
Well, I know J.D. Vance. He cornered the media at the airport when she just went on the plane or whatever and didn't answer any questions. So he like kind of called them out a little, but Republicans, we have to get down in the dirt, and sometimes you have to fight dirty, but I don't know why they're not. So, and it's weird, like the different states. I've talked before, our family has a house in the Poconos, and you could put a big, I'm voting for Trump sign, Trump, in your yard and everything else like that. Personally here, I don't do it. I mean, I have my little, innuendos, my little 3% sign and, things that only like people like us would know. But if I think I put a Trump sign in my window, part of me, even though my neighborhood is safe, some lunatic would throw a brick through my window. That's how much Trump is hated. But then you have parts of Brooklyn, the Bronx and everything, where they dump Manhattan dumps on us. And so I don't know. My sister and my family are like, if she gets elected, we should just sell the house and move. But is that always the answer? I don't know. Because it seems the places you want to go to are now getting just as shithole as New York is. So where do you go? So
Yeah. Well, even Montana has become, I mean, you got all these Californians moving to Montana, and what do you think they're going to do? What do you think they did to California? So they're going to vote the same fucking way they did before.
Yeah. And then even a really good friends of the family today, and I know they're going to vote for Kamala and everything, but we're able to at least have a discussion. But I don't understand, like this, what is it? The Project 2025 or something, and it's like the conservative handbook.
So what that is the Heritage Foundation
I'm halfway through it, but okay, so
it's
they
not that
want
crazy.
close borders. Okay, I'm for that. They want to break up the Board of Education. Basically, the outline is for smaller government. to
Mhm.
take power away from the FBI. The teacher to send the Board of Education instead of federal, throw it back to the states. And I'm like, oh, you mean what our founding fathers wanted to in the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the lunatic, I don't even know her name. That's the head of the board. She goes to, what is it? Where's the law now?
Randy Weingarten.
Yeah, okay. And she's always screaming and everything. Why did she have to go like to Europe and send 14,000 times? Meanwhile, here in New York, when it was cold, they were throwing our kids out in the street, go home so they could put the illegals in the warm school.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she getting paid?
Well, her motivation during COVID wasn't about educating kids. It was about keeping her teachers paid so they could keep paying her so she could keep paying the,
Right.
Democrats
Right.
to keep her
Yeah.
teachers off being paid to sit on their asses at home, I
Yeah.
mean, I respect teachers. I just don't respect these union bullshit that,
Yeah.
are so tied to
then
politics.
Yeah, and then there were other things that was thrown at me. Oh, that the power should be with the parents. Now, I've never had children. I've raised 1,000 nieces and nephews and everything. Why? I don't want my 5-year-old being taught sexual things, regardless of what it is, and no, men should not, if they're biologically a man, should not compete in women's, So I was going down the list and they hit me, well, there's 900 pages. You're just reading the first chapter. So I'm sitting here reading, well, like I'm halfway through it and I'm like, we're just getting back to the basics. It was a weird day talking to,
I was talking to a friend of mine that I used to talk to about politics a lot around the 2020 election, and we kind of just stopped talking about stuff because it wasn't worth it.
Right.
With differences. But we can talk. So I just kind of very casually asked him, what his take is now that it's not Biden. He said, because he had told me he wasn't planning on voting when Biden was the nominee, and he says to me, he's like, "Well, I want to see debates because I want to hear what she has to say."
Mm-hmm.
And he's basically saying to me he's going to vote for her, and I'm trying to push for why, and he can't give me an answer other than still Trump. I'm like, give me a reason to vote for her because that doesn't include Trump, and he's like, yeah, I don't really know much about her. I'm going to give her a chance. This is why I keep saying Trump and his people need to get her out there talking. They need to force her to back up what she says.
Yep.
Because the media won't.
Well, and they do. I kind of agree with Sugar Britches in the sense of it's time to quit with they're just throwing, slinging shit instead of actually getting down to you're saying what you're going to do, but you're not saying how you're going to do it. We need, give us some details, get off this slinging mud shit. Yeah, I mean,
if you look at the Harris campaign website, there's no policies that are on it, or at least there weren't the last time I checked a day or two ago. Like, she doesn't have any policies. She's running from, trying to say she's, wants to close the border and all kinds of things like this, running from the Biden stuff. Like, Trump and his campaign need to hold her to her being part of the Biden campaign.
Yes.
She said she's the last in the room making all the big decisions with him, the last in the room in Afghanistan. So, they have to tie her to this shit and not just let her walk away from it by using her proxies in the media.
I want somebody to say to her, okay, like she says, I'm going to help with the border if I get elected. But why didn't you do that now? Like, I'll do this when I get elected. Why aren't you doing it now? Like, I don't understand why nobody's asked her this question.
All Biden's doing is sleeping on a beach anyways. So, if you're not 25th Amendmenting him, why the hell are you not back, pretending to be the president?
And then she's doing things like Trump came out with this thing to make you don't have to pay taxes on tips. And now she's saying that.
Yeah.
So I thought he was like Hitler himself, but now you want to agree with Hitler? I don't.
And they asked Karine Jean-Pierre about it, and she was like, "Oh, well, we've always wanted to help the working class as much as possible. They hired IRS agents to go after middle class and people, and make sure you're paying all your taxes."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like most of the people that I know that are voting for the Democrats are voting for Democrats because they have TDS, the Trump derangement syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
But when I talk to them about actual issues, they actually agree with me on most stuff. And I think if they really sat down and just listened to Trump, if it were the same words
Right.
without his inflection coming out of someone else's mouth, they would be on board.
I
But
totally agree
because
with
they've
you.
been, made crazy over Trump, that they just can't vote for him, even if, the Democrats are offering up insanity.
Mm-hmm. And I was saying that, and that's a good point, because I was like, well, don't you want people to legally be here? Yes. Don't you want our streets to be safer? Yes. Do you want the schools to hide things about your children? No. So, like, you're 100% correct. If you just say those things, I was agreed with. But Trump, he's a felon. He's this, he's that. So,
So much of that is just complete bullshit.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it frustrates me to no end.
And I
But
don't
what
know,
you gonna do?
either whoever gets elected, there's a term like a brouhaha, a big, mess. I hope there's, things blow up, but then I'm gonna sit back and go, well, like, Gutter says, maybe Washington should blow up,
I mean,
and we'll start from scratch.
the reality is if Trump is elected and in large enough numbers that they can't, fortify their way into a win,
Right.
then they will go back into resistance mode through the media and double and triple down on, gotta have Trump, foment as many riots and bullshit as possible.
Uh-huh.
And it'll just be a replay of the 2016 to 2020 years.
Right.
And it'll come down to, can Trump and whoever, be it if the Republicans control the House or the Senate, can they actually accomplish anything electorally? Can they actually do any of the things they're promising? Or does it just become another like placeholder bullshit, presidency that pushes it to another election where, everybody's fighting the same fight over and over again? Because like I said, that's the playbook the media is going to go back to.
Yes.
If he gets elected. We're not going to see it any different than it was then.
Well, I'm happy out of the squad, with the AOC and that group there. Out of 6 of them so far, I think it's 2 or 3 lost their seats.
Yeah, Jamal
So I
Bowman
was
lost
happy
his
about
seat,
that.
and Cori Bush lost her seat,
Yeah.
or her primary or whatever.
Mhm.
They both lost primary, so they'll get voted out. But yeah, I agree. I hope more of them get voted out. We can move on from this identity politics, BS.
And that's one thing, like the Bronx around, and they got really pissed off because Amazon was going to build this big factory, I don't know, this whole thing, and it would have brought in like $1 billion a year between jobs and revenue to New York, but it was going to be too close to her house. So she voted against it.
Mm-hmm.
So much for caring about the working man.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of the like big Democrats, especially Democrat voters that are more wealthier people that I met, they all are NIMBYists. They all not in my backyard.
Right.
Sure, we love having homeless people and illegal immigrants, and everybody should have everything. But don't do it near me. I mean, that's California's whole problem. That's why they have one of the big reasons they have so many housing problems in California is because they're all like, oh yeah, we love having homeless people. You shouldn't be able to chase people off the streets. But at the same time, they're like, no, we don't want anybody building in our like beachfront property near a city on the coast. Let's keep that as houses so that nobody can ever build anything and move in.
Well, that's what happened in Martha's Vineyard. There were just 50 illegals came there, and by the next day they were gone.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, like the reality is I've been saying this for for a long time, but like this is basically what I've been saying to people now is like, we're just a bunch of plebs. Like I was referring to paying taxes. I'm just like, I'm paying my like pleb gift to our overlords.
Yeah.
Or like we're the fucking proles from 1984. I mean, the reality is yeah, I can go vote, but it's consent. It's manufactured consent. I'm voting for people from a party by a, like they were talking about, let's say like RFK. Okay, he's not like he matters in the election, but supposedly they're trying to use lawfare to keep him off the ballots in New York because they know he's going to impact the Democrat side more than the Republican votes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just some bullshit about like his where he lived or whatever, but it has nothing to do with his ability to be president or not. And so it's very obviously just lawfare bullshit. And it's breaking the system.
Yang says AOC lost her mind. I don't even think she has a brain. It's like I have to shut the TV off when she gets on TV. It's just I don't know. She just
I
have
should
no
tell my
words for
daughter.
her.
I told my daughter, she said to me, I have to go into jury duty tomorrow, Mom. I'm like, well, just go in there and you need to be very opinionated and you need to be very irrational. I need to tell her, just be AOC and they'll oust your ass, no problem.
And she's a perfect example of government reform. You're making $150,000 a year. How will you have $8 million in 2-3 years? How did you do that? And I'm not talking investments or whatever. Where did money come from? I mean, we all know, but please let me in on the secret.
Yeah.
And she's anti-Second Amendment. Well, they all are. But meanwhile, she has a security guard with a gun. So you could protect your family. I can't protect mine.
Right.
But I really think also, and being in New York, it's like they're kind of starting they want like a race war. They're all pointing at, oh, it's this. They're going to take Black rights away. They're going to take women's rights away. They're making us infight. Because we all know it. When it comes down to it, the color of power is green.
Mm-hmm.
Then they don't care what your sexual orientation is, what you want, as long as you got the green.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all too stupid. People are stupid together.
Well, it's exactly why I say to have, like when we talk about having the citizens overseeing the education, in the end, it doesn't work because they'll all be bought. So it starts out all with good intentions, but it doesn't end up that way. And then they're bought and then the kids pay for it again. So that's why I think you need to take public education shouldn't be public education. There should be no public education. Because the minute that you start having that kind of control with something that is extremely, that's our future. That's this country's future is our kids. So you can't leave it in somebody's hands and not even the government's. And so that's why I think it should all be private education. And you wouldn't have that problem. And they would strive harder to do better education for the kids because it would just automatically, you'd want your kid to go to the better school. And I think it would work much better if it was all private. I do. But that's just me.
Or at least on the state level. If we all agree, the parents have to take power. I remember growing up, it's like the PTA. That's the thing that ran the school. If the parents didn't want something, it didn't happen. Or they were mad about things and everything else like that. So,
which I understand, but it goes back to being bought again. It goes back to the whole thing of they can be bought. And the minute that they can be bought, then it doesn't matter. You can have 500 PTAs for one school and it ain't going to help because they're bought. So, but if you take that out of that, if you take it to where they don't get to make those decisions, those are decisions that are made by you because you'll know whether you want to send your kid to that school.
Right.
And so there is nobody saying this is what's going to be, that you have to accept what's going to be taught to your kid. If it's all private, you don't have to accept shit. And so I
The
think for
only
me,
thing with private schools, like, and again, I only have the reference in New York and stuff like that. The private schools here are not cheap.
no, but remember that now there's going to be abundance of them because there'll be no public school.
Hmm.
So there'll be tons of private school, and that'll be less taxes taken out of everybody's paychecks
Right. Right.
every 2 weeks or whatever. So, I mean,
Hmm.
there'll be way less money that is going out of your pocket that you'll be able to put towards a better education. So,
Right.
for me, I think it's a win-win. And like I said, it will make those schools strive to be a better school because
What are
there'll
you
be
gonna
people.
do? What are you gonna do about parents who are like, "Fuck it, I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna pocket the extra money. My kid doesn't need an education. They can like sit around and play video games and like,
Well, I
I
mean,
don't give a shit."
what do we do about it today? Well, I mean, come on. In reality, what do we really do about it today? Right? I'll bet you that you don't even have, what do they call those officers that go out and if
The
your kid
truant
doesn't,
agents,
that
Oh yeah,
true.
no. I mean, I'm not suggesting that what's going on now is working. I'm just saying like, if you want to openly, that's the outcome that's going to happen. Is like there's going to be no school whatsoever for all these kids in a lot of areas that don't have parents that are
Well,
deeply, caring or involved. Like
well, I
at
think
least on
that's by
some
the
level,
choices of their own. And,
at
I
least
think,
at least on some level, some of these kids get a chance. In theory,
well, you
public
may
schools.
have a very good point. But I mean, as I see it right now, this public education is failing, and it's failing at an alarming rate, as far as I'm concerned. Do you
I agree.
realize that in Oregon they don't even have a level of graduating? That there is no level. There's nothing that says it doesn't matter whether you read, write, or any of it. It doesn't matter. You can literally graduate without it. Ooh,
right.
we have company. Hey, nerd, what's up?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Hello.
That sound good?
Yep, you
Good.
sound good.
Yeah, I mean, like all of
Okay.
Baltimore failed.
Oh, you said
Maryland.
something just a second ago about truancy. I was listening.
Uh-huh.
I'm just getting tucked in for the night. I worked in the school system for the past year down
Uh-huh.
here in Florida. There are still truancy officers.
Uh-huh.
There are still people who will go and arrest parents if they don't send their kids to school.
Okay.
I had a student who by January, when I started in the class with him, had already missed over almost 80 days of school. That was by January, and he was still in January. In April, when I transferred classes, he had missed about 30 more. So he was on the fast track to failing. But the teacher looked at me and said, "I'm just going to push him on to 6th grade. It's not my problem anymore." That's the biggest problem with the schools. These teachers who do not care. And I like this teacher. He was a great guy. Good guy to work with. But this kid was our biggest problem. His parents weren't in the picture. He was raised by other family members who had to
Uh-huh.
work nights. So he'd stay up till 3, 4 in the morning playing video games because the adult didn't get home till 8 or 9 o'clock in the a.m. from work. So he'd just be sitting there late sleeping in bed in the classroom.
Right.
And they're still truancy officers, but like this idea that if it goes back to the states that there'll be people that I don't have to send my kids. That would be the state's call. I think we should have 50 different boards of education for each state. Our education should be state run, and it should be decided by the states what the kids in said state learn. And I'm 100% for school choice because I had been at some bad schools. When I had an aunt who worked at this one middle school I worked at, and the first advice she told me when she found out I was starting, she looked at me and says, "Do not break up a fight. You don't know if they're carrying a knife or not." Because when she worked there in the early 2000s, she tried to break up a fight and had a knife pulled on her. The kids don't care. I was literally walking into lunch one day in the lunchroom with my class, and a kid 3 feet in front of me. I see him just reach out and pull the fire alarm. The very next day, he does the same thing.
Because there's no consequences anymore.
No.
But see, one of the things that I think needed to be changed years and years ago was this 3 months off for summer. I think that's the dumbest thing in the. Why the hell would you give a kid 3 months off? Their parents don't get 3 months off. They got to still go to work. Where the hell are those kids going to go for 3 months? Why would you do that? Why would you give them that much time off? You give them the same amount of time off their parents get off. Then you know where they're at, and so does their parents.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was one of the things that was, I just don't think it's ever worked. I don't. I mean, it's great. You see the kids all excited at summer vacay. Yay. But really,
sending their kids to camp, and then they get older and send them to sleepaway camp. They just get rid of their kids for the summer.
Mm-hmm. Well, but the thing about it is they get out of the whole realm. And remember or not, those parents that don't give two shits about their kids, they don't go to camp.
No, I mean, teachers
and then they're totally out of the whole, going to bed at night, getting up early in the morning to go to school. They get out of that because now they've had a whole 3 months to set and think off.
Yep, teachers I've known have always said they spend the first couple of months of the school year reteaching stuff from the end of last year. Because kids, just forget. And
because their brain went to mush for 3 months. They did nothing.
Sounds like you'd want the Japanese style schools. Like what do they do? 2 months on and then 2 weeks off? 2 months on, 2 weeks off, I think is how Japanese school works. And in Japan, they don't have custodians at their schools. It is their
Yes, I heard that.
Job to keep their classrooms and schools clean.
See? Yeah, I think that's perfect.
They have this is the problem. They have an entire culture of respect. It's not just about the schools. It's the entire culture. Like, you look what goes on their subways and whatever. There's no, crazy bullshit. It's, people being quiet, listening to their headphones, reading their book or whatever, but, going home. It's not all this crazy shit. People playing music, people yelling at each other, people, they have an entire culture of
that's only for if you're Japanese yourself. Eastern cultures are extremely insulated. If you want to experience, and I hate to say this, but it's true. If you want to experience real racism, be an out member of an outside race and date a girl or man from an Eastern family.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I'm not discounting any of that. My point is just that, it comes back to the culture. So, in the United States, we're trying to have this ubiquitous culture for the whole country, and it doesn't work, firstly. Different areas in different states are different. But, a big part of what goes into why, kids in the suburbs that I grew up in did okay mostly, other than, the ones that end up on drugs and shit, is because of the culture surrounding them, the parents, the community, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and this thing that in my experience working at the schools, I was told when I was working in the cafeteria, if a kid asks for a meal, you have to give it to them whether they pay for it or not. So this criticism that I've been hearing this past few months, people want to do away with free lunches. No, they don't. No sane person wants to do away with free school lunches.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a topic of this year's election. It's a nothing burger. It's a huge nothing burger. And because I would have kids that would bring their lunches from home and be like, excuse me, I'm hungry. Can I go get a plate? I was like, yep, go ahead. I always had to get them their damn silverware because they always forgot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, I definitely don't think any kid should go without eating. And yet another reason why when you go to a private school, and when I say private, I know that sounds like it's a ritzy thing, but if they were all private, I don't think you would have that. It wouldn't be so expensive to put your kids through school because, for one, each school would strive to keep it their fees as low as possible, but also give a great education. And so, and they're going to be up against the next guy. They don't have any of those problems now. I don't think the
You're
teachers really have to strive to be the best teacher. I don't.
No, there is
I
no incentive for them to be good and
weatherman.
teachers. There's
Yeah.
no incentive for them because no matter how hard they work, no matter how many hours they put that last few weeks of summer to getting their classroom prepared, they can literally, the administration at the drop of a hat say, "Oh, all these plans that you've created over the past few weeks, no, you're not using them. Here's what we're going to do, and you're going to have to spend all this time you don't have as a teacher learning all these lesson plans that are being given to you." They're good, bad teachers are protected, and good teachers are given no incentive to keep being good, so they become bad teachers.
That's 100%.
Well,
Once you have tenure, you could be the crappiest teacher
Oh yeah,
known to man, and they can't do anything.
I got a story for y'all. Real quick. I worked with special needs kids, and one of our teachers, there was 2 teachers and like 3 paras, because these were really special need kids. These were some of them were low functioning autistic kids. And we had one boy who was our problem kid. Loved the boy to death. 95% of the time he was super sweet, but that 5% was nuclear. So he wants to go at 9:30. He tells the teacher, this old man teacher who could not remember any of our names, could not work the projector, work the computer, we'd be in history and he'd start teaching math. This man should have been retired, but of course he had tenure. So one day this kid tells the teacher, "I want to go eat my lunch at 9:30 in the cafeteria." The cafeteria is being cleaned at that time because they just finished breakfast and now they're cleaning for lunch in like 2 hours. I try to suggest that, hey, how about I take him out to the picnic tables and we can sit out there. It's a nice sunny spring day or fall day. Actually, this was in the fall. He tells me, no, take him to the cafeteria. This man couldn't hear a damn thing. So I go to the door, open the door, tell the kid to come on, and he thinks I'm ignoring what he's saying. He starts yelling at me in front of the kids. I'm the aide. I'm another employee. You don't do that. If you have a problem with another employee, you take it out in the hall and you speak to me privately. And then I literally tell him to stop or we're calling the principal. The other teacher hears him yelling at me, calls the principal. I'm outside at the picnic tables cooling off because I am absolutely pissed. And I tell the principal. She comes out and talk to me. I tell the principal what's going on. She and I go out to the teacher. He shares his side of the story. I start sharing mine, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to hear this." And I just look at the principal. I'm like, "See, this is what I'm dealing with." He's still there. This is a man who abused a child, who was yelling at the child to the point that he was cowering in the corner of the hallway, being screamed at by this old man, to the point that the other teachers in the hallway started coming out. But he had this was all caught on camera. But of course, because of tenure, he was allowed to stay. Mm-hmm. There was one day, this kid, he was having a meltdown. And he started yelling at this kid, calling him a baby and saying he's acting foolish. And this teacher was red in the face, like, oh my God, scary, angry face. So I get between them. I was like, hey, dude, stop. Let me take him outside. I try to diffuse the situation. I could have gotten in trouble for doing that because he could have said, oh, he's interfering with my teaching. But he was still there. As far as I went to that school. I didn't get hired back. I went to that school about 2 weeks ago. His truck was sitting right there. He's still there. This old man who can't hear, who's damn near senile, is still there abusing these special needs kids.
It kind of reminds me of when in the healthcare they called it a CNA vortex. And it was basically where you kept bad after good. And so you would get rid of your good and you kept the bad. And it just became to where it was a total vortex of just shitty people that would continue, because the good ones would leave. They would go find a good place to work. Even if you would start out by getting rid of the good ones, but in the end, as soon as they came in and seen the shit show that was going on, they were out. They would leave. So, and it is a really bad thing to get started, and it's a really hard thing to get stopped once you do that, because it's hard to get rid of. You can't get rid of all the shitty people or you'll have nobody. So trying to weed out those to bring in good ones. Well, as soon as those good ones get in there, they see what they're like and they're like, I'm out. And so, and you'll find that in almost any form of, it doesn't matter,
No,
you know,
it
what
doesn't.
it's in. I
Well,
mean,
Like,
I
I
think
worked
one
at,
of the other things, sorry to just interject a second, that I've noticed, at least in my own career and like work field, is that I'm not like, the motivation is not what they sell the outcome as. Like, for taking care of patients, they don't sell healthcare. You know, you sell healthcare as taking care of patients, but really what it is it's making insurance companies happy, making a bottom line. Like, I'm just a cog in a machine about a commodity, you know, making money for a company. Yeah, really, at the end of the day, you know, and it's the same thing I think on some level with like teaching. You know, it's not really about the students. It's really about other ulterior motives for, you know, financial interests.
the health industry is not about curing; it's about treating and pushing pills.
well, yeah, they need you coming back.
Yeah.
That's number one. They need you coming back.
There's more profit in a treatment than there is profit in a cure.
But that's why I say I think a lot of our, you know, industries and a lot of our work now has become like that.
Mhm.
But I worked at, and it's in all sorts of industries, not just medical or these big industries like medical or education. One of my first jobs was in a grocery store. I worked as a cashier in a grocery store. I would literally sometimes there was this one kid that did not like me and refused to bag for me. And I would have probably 5 or 6 customers with carts full in my line, and he'd be down there in another register flirting with a girl or talking to other people. And I'm like, dude, you're the only bagger. I need you down here. I went to the management many times about him, but the manager would literally looked at me and said, what do you expect me to do about it? I said, do what you've done to me and send his ass home if he doesn't want to work, because you've done it to me for bullshit reasons. I remember one time I go take a bathroom break and I'm walking out of the bathroom and I'm checking my cell phone while I'm walking out of the bathroom. He turns around the corner. He's like, you're on your cell phone. Get out of here. Go home. I'm like, are you kidding me? I just came out of the toilet. I'm not on the floor yet. But he won't sit. He won't send this he won't say, and I called him boy because I was in my late 20s and he was like fresh out of high school. He wouldn't send this kid home, but he did to me multiple times.
I mean, I've had a few situations like, so I had one where a MA was very obviously lying about like blood pressures and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I told management, they did nothing about it. Like, you know, and I knew because he was telling me he was using a certain blood pressure cuff, but I had used the same blood pressure cuff and it didn't fit on the person's arm. So there's no way he came out with a blood pressure 120/80 with a blood pressure cuff you couldn't even put around the guy's bicep. The other situation I had was an MA in the ER, you know, so they called them like techs or whatever instead of MAs. But this girl disappeared, didn't run tests in a timely manner. You could show it in the computer system when it was like drawn versus when she ran it in our like point of care lab. And I went to their manager and said something. And she was like, well, she's planning on, you know, she's not going to be here because they're going to fire her because of COVID. You know, she was refusing to get a vaccine, which I don't want to get into the vaccine stuff. That's not the point here. But she's like, so I'm not going to bother disciplining her. Like, it's not worth it. She's going to be gone in a month. Meanwhile, I no longer work at this ER, but I mean, I do PRN sometimes, but this tech still works there full time.
PRN is as needed for those who don't know that.
Yeah. Well, during that summer, I worked in my local news station, so I saw the craziness firsthand. We would literally have stories changing, new information coming in about updates of what was happening while the anchor was reading them. I remember they send all the reporters home, so all the reporters are working from home. So it's just literally me, another production assistant, and the two news anchors and the weather girl in the newsroom. They wanted me and the other production assistant to work at the same station. I'm like, no, just let me move. They had an empty computer. I was like, let me move this one over here so we're not face to face. But I would literally be like having to wave at the anchor to try to get his attention and trying to get one of those egotistical, simple-minded idiots that work in the news, get their attention off the teleprompter for more than 5 seconds. It's one of the hardest things you could do. So I experienced that firsthand, and it was one of the most craziest jobs I ever had.
Hey, Bruce. Yeah, I've definitely had some of those jobs that are out there, man. Just crazy.
The worst thing
Some
about
of the stuff I think that goes on for now is quite. Actually, today when I was grocery shopping, there was a guy in produce, and he's this really cool guy that, I mean, he says things like, I swear he listens, like he's in chat or something, because he says things like, yeah, this lady knows, things like that, like the things that we all would say, and so but he's super nice, and he says how's your day going, ma'am? I said, oh, I'm doing great, and don't call me that because I'm 39 and I can't handle listening to you call me ma'am. And of course he snickers, and he goes, well, you're a good looking 39 there, man. He's so sweet. Then he said, he said, I'm almost out of here. I've been here since 6 o'clock. I said, well, geez, I feel like you're over your 8 hour. What do you do? 410s? He goes, no, this place they don't offer that. I said, of course not. You're in corporate America. And he's like, yeah. He goes, I said, don't feel bad. I said, even, it doesn't matter what you're doing. This is the kind of shit you have to put up with. And he goes, well, I thought maybe if I went and got a really good education, it'd be different. And I was like, good luck. Because
not different.
It just doesn't happen. You better have your own business if you want.
I get bossed around by a bunch of MAs that are in the, people with the extent of their medical knowledge as being an MA, but they moved over to the admin side, and they're like, the director of this, director of that, and I get bossed around and told how to make medical decisions by them, despite the fact that I'm the one with the medical degree and they're not. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. I was reading and I don't know where this guy worked, but my school district sure knew how to get rid of teachers they didn't like. Yeah.
I wish mine was. But then mine, every other week for the past 2 months, my school district would post, oh, we're so short on teachers and staff. We need people to come apply. I'm like, yeah, but you haven't hired me back yet, assholes.
Uh-huh.
Last week alone, I went to four different interviews.
Remember, if you don't conform, if you do not conform to their ways, then you're probably not going to fit into their little gangbanging they got going on. I is the way I see it. I mean, it just seems to me that you have to have a certain amount of wokeness to work in one of those places anymore, because they don't ever want you to teach a kid to think for themselves.
Listen to this, Gutter. This is how crazy it was. How did you learn greater than or less than? The greater than and less than symbols in math. How did you learn them? Because I'll show you how I learned them.
I'm not quite sure what you mean, but how I learned them. I mean, I learned them in school, but
Yeah, did they have any like special tricks as a kid to teach you how to remember which way the signs go? See, down here in the swamp in Florida, we learned the gator's mouth. It's a gator's mouth that eats the bigger number. So
right.
that's how I'm working with first graders, and we're studying that. And I go to tell them that, and our teacher's just like, no, 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 don't tell them that. It'll scare them. I'm like, really? Really? There's probably gators next door. We had a creek running beside our school. I'm thinking to myself, there are probably gators 100 yards away from them right now. Are you kidding me? It was the most ridiculous thing because that's how I learned it. That's how I still remember it. And this was coming from a teacher who used to be a cop.
Well,
okay, dude.
That is kind of the problem with how they're censoring so much that kids can't, like, I don't know. I raised my kids different even back when, they were, I had teachers look at me like I had three heads because, I would tell my kids to straighten up and fly right in front. I didn't care who was standing there. And if they needed, a smack on the ass, well, they got it. And I had parents look at me literally like I was the meanest bitch in the world. But, we usually didn't have kids that acted up very often because they knew that I would be there in the drop of a hat to, and I also gave the teachers that right to be able to, and of course, most of them would say, no, we can't do that. And, we would never.
See, sorry.
No, but I definitely, it wasn't until the last few years, I never told my kids not to respect their teachers ever. But I did really have to make my kids understand that they needed to think for themselves because of the shit that I was seeing coming out of them schools. I was concerned about how that was, how my kid, it wasn't as bad as it is obviously today. Because my youngest has been out for probably, I don't know, 10 years, but they still, there was a lot of wokeness that they were trying to push down our kids' throats. So I did have to keep that. I every day I worked at trying to make sure that my kids understood reality and not the shit that they were trying to teach them in school. So that was not easy to do that. And I can't even imagine trying to do it now with the way they are, especially in a place like this area where it's extremely woke here. They, and that's how they want to, they want to teach the kids that way.
I live in a very red state. In Northwest Florida, where I live, we have been red state for as long as anyone can remember. Like the blue parts of Florida are down south. So, it's still, I've noticed over the past year, it still kind of trickles in a little bit. I had one kid, we were in the library. He's like, I identify as a girl. I'm like, and I didn't address it. I'm like, nope, not touching that. This is a little boy.
Oh, you didn't turn around and say I identify as a Catholic priest? I'm just joking.
But
just
see, as someone whose mother worked in the school system my entire time in school, I couldn't get away with shit. In middle school, I have two perfect prime examples of this. In middle school, my 7th grade English teacher, her sons were in band with me. Her husband was the administrative assistant at one of the middle schools. My aunt, my mom's sister, was his secretary. And my mom worked at this elementary school right next door. So one day, I don't know what I was doing in class, but I get called up to the teacher's desk. I get chastised by her. She picks up the phone, calls her husband. He chews me out. He puts me down the hall to my aunt. She chews me out. And she says to me before she hangs up, she's like, I'm calling your mother and telling her about this. And if I would have kept my mouth shut, if I would have just shut up, Because I go in that afternoon and I said, "Did your sister call you?" I'm not going to use names. I said, "Did Aunt so and so call you?" She's like, "No." Why? I said, "No reason." I go to my room and I hear the phone being dialed. "Hello, sister. Do you have something to tell me?" My aunt had forgotten to call her, and I told on myself. Well, then I get to high school. My junior year, I transferred high schools. Okay, this is how crazy it was for me. Our principal taught me 10th grade Sunday school. The lady in payroll also taught me Sunday school. The attendance secretary was in the church choir. The ESE department secretary was in Sunday school with my mom. The assistant band director was my pastor's wife. And my mom worked next door again at the trade school that was next door. I didn't even try to get away with anything there because I knew I had eyes on me everywhere at that school. But having a mom who she knows, it was good and bad. My mom knew the system, knew when teachers were trying to pull one over on her, and would cut them at the heels. She would say, "No, you're not doing that. This is what you're going to do. This is the only choice you have. You're going to do it whether you like it or not." Like when I was ESC math. I'm sorry, I'm rambling a lot. Then I'm going to say this, and I'm done. I was ESC math in middle school. I was dyscalculia, whatever you call math disability. So I would have math, ESE, special needs math, and then have all my other classes be just regular mainstream classes.
Mhm.
Well, I got to be good friends with the son of my ESE math teacher. So when we had an IEP, I had an IEP, which is an individual education plan.
Mm-hmm. That thing that fucks kids all the time. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Back then it helped me because it allowed me to get.
IEPs cause kids to have a quarter of a less credit. And so when they go into that class, because they have to go into a class once a
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a quarter less credit. Well, that's all it takes to screw a lot of kids out of graduating.
Mm. See, I graduated full, but we have a meeting with the ESC person from the high school I'm going to. She looks at my mom and says, "We're going to put him full-time ESC." That means math, English, social studies, science, all the geography, all these classes ESC. I would be in a building, a single building all day, every day, instead of with my peers in regular classes. So my mom says, "No, you're not." The lady from high school says, "Yes, you are." And the lady in high school starts getting mad. She leans over the table, starts getting in my mom's face. She's like, "Yes, he is." My mom says, "No, he's not." Looks at me, points her finger at me, says, "Get up, we're leaving." We get up and leave the meeting. Later on, the middle school ESC teacher tells us, she's like, "Oh, she kept going on about it, and she's like, "Oh, he's gonna do what I want him to do." And the lady looked at the high school lady and said, "If she tells you you're not gonna do something with her son, you're not gonna do it." So it was good and bad, having a mom who knew the system, who couldn't leave well enough alone sometimes, but
yeah,
she does the same thing for my niece now.
I mean, I went to a Jewish day school, private school. So, like, growing up in an insular community, my parents knew all the teachers. And my parents went to synagogue with people. Everybody knew each other's parents, and students. Like, I think that's another thing that's lost in these big, giant, like public schools is this sense of actually knowing other people and being part of their lives that you get in these smaller schools. Doesn't have to be a religious school,
but my brother went to elementary school up until 5th grade private school. But like I said, I had special needs, and so the private school did not have the resources for me. So I went to public school, and my brother and I were 4 years apart. So usually he had just left the school by the time I started. So a lot of the teachers had knew him, and they would know, oh, you're his brother. So,
Mhm.
and like I said, my mom knew a lot of the teachers, and they knew not. Just about 2 weeks ago, I go to a local middle school to for a job interview, and the secretary is taking me down the hall to the administrative assistant's office, and she's like, "Oh, this is Miss So and So." I was like, "Yes, I know Miss So and So. She taught me 6th grade math." It's just my family lived in the same place for about 100 years, so everyone knows everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know half of my neighbors. I know people, from Discord all over the world better than I know my neighbors.
That's sad. When I was growing up, our neighbors were like my neighbor. There was an older couple who lived next door to us. They were like another set of grandparents for me and my brother. I used to play with their grandkids when they'd come over. The people across the street, we would have cookouts every 4th of July. We'd get together in front of our house and just shoot off fireworks. You don't have neighbors like that anymore. Hell, my neighbor threatened to kill my dog 2 or 3 times.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I told him one time, but I said, buddy, if you fucking try it, I will make your life so goddamn miserable. You wish you could move.
Well, don't you worry. Most men that have dogs have a John Wick somewhere deep inside them. I was telling someone that earlier today.
Well, I had a Staffy, Staffordshire Terrier.
Uh-huh.
Loved her to death.
Oh.
She was the greatest dog I ever had. And she passed away a few years ago. I think her kidneys failed, but she was 13, 14 years old, which is about the average lifespan.
Right age them, yeah.
But I always wondered, like, why is she so much smaller than a regular pit bull? But then I learned that pit bull is not a breed; it's a category of breeds.
Yep.
And but she got out one day, and he said she bit him, which he didn't have any marks on him, and she was sent to doggy jail for about a week. And every day after my mom got off of work, leave school, she'd go to the pound and sit with her for a few hours. And the workers at the kennel said, "This is not a bad dog. Why is she here?" But
Yeah,
I'm more nervous around Jack Russell Terriers, Chihuahuas, smaller dogs like that, because this same guy has like 2 Jack Russells who fucking terrorize the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. When I walk my dog, it's all the little dogs that start up with him. Well, there's one border collie that he fights with, but that's because they share a lawn. So they're both not neutered. So there's this constant battle over whose lawn it is.
A few months ago, I'm getting out of my car and he's outside with his dogs, and these little Jack Russells start just like missiles coming at me, and I hollered, "Get your ass back there!" and they stopped dead in their tracks. But there was one morning, my mom and dad were walking our Staffy. My dad had just had his hernia removed in his stomach, still had his staples, and one of their dogs, I think they had a husky. I think that's what he was. My dad and mom noticed he's gotten out and running the neighborhood. So my dad does a neighborly thing, goes and knocks on the door and says, "Hey, your dog's out." Well, their Jack Russell bolts out between my dad's feet. And my mom's in our driveway about maybe 20, 30 yards away. And this dog is just coming straight at my mom and our Staffy. So my mom puts the leash around her, for pull, because Staffies, they're small dogs, but they're fucking strong.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells her to sit, so she's sitting between my mom's legs, and this Jack Russell comes and just latches onto my dog's neck, and just starts trying to rip her neck out. And my dog's just like, really? Nothing's like. She looks at my mom and says, "Can I eat this?" Like she's saying, "Can I eat this thing now?" But And my mom starts screaming, "Get over to my dad! Get over here!" My dad, like I said, still with staples in his stomach, starts running. And my dad's a big guy. He starts running 30, 40 yards to get this dog off our dog. Nothing was done about him. Nothing. No
Nope,
fine.
nobody cares about little dogs. They can
Nothing.
be as vicious and evil as
Yeah.
could be.
There
But
was
if you're an
one.
ankle biter, it's all good.
There was
Yeah,
one
I
time
agree.
I was out running. I was trying to get in shape to join the military, and there was a house that had those pole fences. You know, they don't stop jack shit. They're for decoration. And they had a huge like Walkweiler pit bull, giant dog, and it was off its leash. And I see it start running across the lawn, and I'm like, shit, I'm about to die. And then he starts crawling under the fence, and I'm like, get your ass back there. And I don't know how I sounded like this. I cannot. I guess it was the force of my voice stopped him dead in his tracks mid stride, and he just watched me keep running down. But as I'm running, I'm pumping. I'm like, shit. I'm about to die. I'm about to die. Oh my god. But I don't know how. But the tone of my voice, the forcefulness of my voice, said to that dog, I don't need to mess with this guy. But I almost had to get my brown pants. I was so scared. But dogs, I don't believe in bad dogs. I believe in bad owners. And there's a certain self-defense lawyer who will fight me on this every chance he gets. But
I think for most part you're correct, but yeah,
well,
there does seem to be some genetics that I've seen. From what I've read stories about, like
that genetics
dogs
is
that
due
are
to inbreeding.
Yep,
From
yep, 100%. Well, it's from overbreeding and poor breeding quality.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't want to say that maybe get that my dog is a bulldog mixed with a boxer, but he is such a sweetheart. He's just a big baby.
My Staffy was too. My niece, she was like 4 or 5. One Saturday morning, I go out to the living room. She's sitting there. She's laying down on the floor using our dog as a pillow, watching. Then they're both sitting there watching Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's strong. He's like my nephew slipped when he was holding the leash, and he was like dragging him around when they weighed about the same amount.
Oh yeah,
but he's just a baby. He's a big baby.
See, Staffies are smart though. We couldn't spank our dog, so we got a squirt bottle of vinegar water. You know, just like a little teaspoon of vinegar with like maybe 20 ounces of water, just enough so you smell it. And that's what we do. She had a sock. She loved stealing socks, or she was chewing something she didn't have to. You pick up the squirt bottle and threaten her with it, so she'd be like, "Oh shit, what am I doing?" That kind of like, "Oh shit, I need to stop what I'm doing." But she was smart. She'd get back at you. A few hours later, I'd be sitting on the couch of the living room watching TV, and she'd come and sit between my legs, and I'd be loving on her, petting her, and all of a sudden you hear, she had gassed me. she would get up, literally lay there, let you love up on her, fart, and walk away. And she only did this after you got onto her. And she'd walk away and give you that bulldog grin, like, payback's a bitch, ain't it? But she was the best dog I ever had, and I will fight for pit bull breed rights as long as I live after having her. Because, like, if you look at the latest bite statistics, there's not a single no. If you look at the top 25 dogs with the strongest bite power, the lowest is, I think it was number 23. That was the first pit bull breed that was on the list. 23, with number 1 being the strongest. It was Cane Corso was the strongest.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're a mastiff breed. They're just massive.
Yeah. And there was one time I had a girlfriend. I was dating this girl at the time, and we come up to my house, and our dog, she was still a puppy, so she'd jump on you and push off you.
Mr. Duggars.
And she did that to my girlfriend, and my girlfriend's just flat on her back. And I told her, I warned you when she does that, turn your back to her. But no, you don't listen. I was like, "Are you okay?" And I started laughing though.
Well,
Oh my
I love that the Cane Corsos. I love the history of these breeds. The Cane Corsos, I love that they were like Roman war dogs essentially, originally.
Well,
Um,
pit bulls. Do you know how they got their name?
bull baiting.
No.
At least that was
Pit
the bulldogs. I don't know about the pit bulls.
pit bulls in
Just
Victorian
fighting.
England, they would have these fighting pits. They would have a bear on one side, chained, declawed, and defanged, and they would throw these dogs in and to fight and place wagers. Hence the name pit bull.
Yeah.
Bef-
So the bully breed came from them doing that, but the bull part of the pit bull is because they bred them off of the bully breed, which was being used for bull baiting, which is a similar idea, but they just stake a bull in the middle of the field and let the dogs go tear it to bits.
See, they would place wagers, and Queen Victoria was known to come to the pits and place wagers. But they were also nanny dogs. They would literally like you know how in Peter Pan they had the big Saint Bernard Nana in the movie.
Yep.
Most likely, if that was true to history, Nana would have been a pit bull. Nana would have been a nanny dog, a pit bull breed, because they would literally be used as security in the nurseries of these high-end Victorian homes. They're some of the sweetest dogs, if like any other dog treated right.
I think a
Mr.
dog
Duggar in the house.
with chihuahuas would be entertaining. It would be a good use for them. I'm just saying.
I'm so glad my mom got out of her chihuahua before I was born.
I'm going to tell you something that's going to surprise you. Pound for pound, a dachshund has the hardest bite.
You know, that probably makes
Oh.
sense. Pound for
They were
pound.
raised for hunting badgers.
Uh-huh.
Anybody ever held a badger? They got this big skin. It's the weirdest. It's like holding an infant. You just can't hold them if they don't want to be held. So you got to catch them by the scrubbers. They're evil little animals, man.
Uh-huh.
And they got dachshunds to go down holes and drag their ass out.
Yep.
That's a tough little breed of dog.
Yep.
Who the all hell is here?
Well, we have Arby up at the top, our channel physician. Just a minute, it'll come to me. PA. And then we have Mishka, our darling Mishka. And then we have Nerd down on the bottom right beside you. And this is Mr. Duggars.
Hi.
What's
Hello.
that, man?
And he's our handsome fat man.
It's all true.
It's all true. See? He's also he's not my lawyer, but sometimes I use him to ward people off by just saying that's my lawyer, don't mess with me, and they usually leave me alone. So but he's actually Fool's lawyer.
Yeah, if she ever would come off with that retainer, I'd work for her. But, I got a lot of badges. I mean, I'm a bird lawyer too, and
Wait, you know bird law?
yeah.
How big are your hands?
I
How big are your hands?
I got big
hands. Big hands and bird law.
That tells you everything, don't it?
Oh God!
Plus, I got like 14 triple E foot.
And he's an Oilers fan. Jeez,
Yeah.
just in all of the things.
Yeah,
All the things.
yeah. I practice bird law, and I'm a traveling gynecologist. I work pro boner.
From phoner.
Oh, but Arby, you mentioned John. Every man has a little bit of John Wick in him earlier.
Yeah.
But you remember at the end of the first movie, what breed does he replace his dog with?
Pitt.
Yeah, I was so happy when I saw that. I love the John Wick movies. That to me, I love it more than the Matrix movies.
I was surprised they didn't use Belgian Malinois. Like the more like popular war dog. Police dog now.
Pit bulls are the biggest lovey-dovey dogs
Oh, they are
there
the
ever was, dude.
biggest pile of mush you could ever be around, aren't they? I miss mine to death.
If somebody has a mean pit bull, they should not be allowed to have dogs ever, because
No.
I've never met a pit bull that was raised by regular people that didn't fight them or use them just for a guard dog. They're the most lovey-dovey dogs that ever was. And my dog, he'd play with any dog, unless they tried to roll him. If they tried to roll him, did he have a little bit of a surprise for him? Yes, he did. And you did not mess with his raccoon. He had his own pet raccoon. So, and you make that little coon squeal, that dog bow up on you.
Well, I
I
probably
feel-
would have to disagree with everybody because I know of a pit bull that attacked my granddaughter when
Like
she
I
was
said, it's the person that
4 years
raised that
old,
dog
and
that made that dog like that. Probably
See-
kept him on a chain or something like that.
no, dog was always in the house, always with the family. He had never showed a sign of it, and that motherfucker snapped, and he snapped on my granddaughter, and he got about a centimeter from getting her eye. He fucking attacked her leg. He got her arm. He got her face.
Poor
He
guy.
fucked her up. And then it ran up the stairs because my granddaughter's dad, it wasn't his dog, it was his brother-in-law's dog. And but the only way he could get the dog to get away from my granddaughter was to punch it in the head. It had a hold of her leg. That was the bad spot. He got really bad. And he had to punch it in the jaw to get him to let go. And he finally got him to let go, and the dog ran up the stairs, and the doorbell rang. And it was the neighbor because it heard all the commotion and heard my granddaughter screaming. And so my granddaughter's dad's girlfriend went to answer the door, and that dog came back down the stairs and attacked his girlfriend. It
A
was
dog bites a baby, it signs its own death warrant.
well, that's
I don't
what
call
should have happened.
cops. I
That's
don't
what
call
should have
who
happened.
owns the dog. I just shoot
Yep.
it.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Exactly.
I am very happy with the decision I made with the mix that my dog is. But yeah, if a dog attacks a baby,
He's done. I don't care what
Yeah.
he is.
once you got taste for human blood,
That's
Well,
the reason
Christy
I
Nome
rock
knows what to do.
It's not
Yeah,
just human blood;
so
it's animal blood.
you know what's amazing though is my granddaughter is a
dog.
huge animal lover, thank God, and it didn't sour her towards the breed, which I am very sour. Like I'm very cautious, and really, really cautious. And number one is because when he said he was trying to get that dog to let go, he could not get that dog to let his jaws off of her. So when people say, "Oh, they don't lock jaws," well, it's awful funny because let me tell you what. He's a big man, and he had to punch that dog several times in the jaw to get it to let go. And it was the only play anywhere else it wouldn't even budge, but if he hit it in the jaw, it would let go for a second, like almost let go, and then it grab on again. It was awful. It was the worst thing ever.
That dog would meet Mr. Ballpeen.
Yeah, it was awful. I mean, it was,
Poor
and
little thing.
I'm not into being mean to any animal or anything like that, but you don't mess with my
I love
grandbabies.
healers, but I hate healers. The only dog that's ever bit
Yep.
me was a healer, and I've been bit twice by two different healers. One
Yeah.
red one, one blue one.
Yeah.
See, when I was a kid, I was at a neighbor's house or a friend's house, and their neighbor had a big Rottweiler.
I hate Rottweilers.
And this Rottweiler, we were literally outside playing, and this Rottweiler busts through the screen door, chases me down, and right on my thigh just clamps on. And luckily, it didn't like grab and hold, but so I was able to like run inside their house. But like 2 weeks later, gets out again, chases down a kid on his bike, and just tears up his arm. So there was no dealing with that dog.
A lot of times and a lot of times they want to blame the dog, but it's really the kid that caused it in the first place. But then again, the dog's always guilty because I've seen pit bulls that put up with more shit from kids climbing over him, grabbing
Yeah.
him here, grabbing him by the tail, and just yawn at him and wrestle back. That they finally get mad and try to bite somebody. That's shame on the dog. You know, now
Yeah.
if they're hurting the dog, you know.
Well, I think once they have the tendencies, I think that's the problem. Once there's that tendency for them to do it, I think that's the problem. But I also think that if you're mean to a dog, you're going to see a side of it. Like, let me put it this way. Marv had a Springer Spaniel that was the best dog ever. I mean, the best. And he was a great bird dog, great kid dog, great everything. But if you put that dog on a chain, he would turn into the most vicious little fucker you ever seen. He would want to tear somebody up every time you put a chain on him. They only did it a couple times because of how the dog acted. Now, the reason they did it was because he had taken off and they were trying to get him to realize he needed to stick around, da 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 da. Anyways, if you put that dog on a chain, he would just go ape shit. And so I do think that there's certain things that will set certain dogs off regarding how you treat them. And so I do think that is a part of it. But I also think that once they have that tendency, once they've done it, and there's the tendency for it, you're taking a big risk of them not doing it again. So that's my problem with not dealing with it if a dog bites somebody.
Yeah.
For
Well,
me.
listen, part of training, and this is one of the reasons I decided to get a puppy as opposed to get, at 8 weeks,
No, absolutely.
an older dog is because, I spent his first year constantly shoving my fingers in his ears, pulling on his ears, touching his paws,
Yes,
playing
I
with his
agree.
jowls, shoving my hand in his mouth, touching his butt, pulling on his little tail nub, like all that
Right.
kind of stuff, so that he would get used to it. To the point now that like I was saying, I think he's got ear mites, and I've been treating for it. But he comes to me trying to beg me to put my finger in and around his ear and rub it and scratch where the mites or whatever are that are bothering him. Like because I've desensitized him to the point that he doesn't mind me, touching him in places. So like that's also a part of training. And they say like the kid offending the dog. I mean, obviously there are things that I know that tick him off. Like if he wants to stay in the room with me and I just go grab him by the collar and start trying to pull, he'll try and nip at me. Because he's offended and he's pissed off that I'm like treating, him that way.
Well, and I think that's for me, that whole nipping thing I think is completely different. I think that is a form of the dog talking. He's trying to get you to stop doing something, and he doesn't have that vocalness to say stop it, goddammit, or squid or any of that. And so that's one of their ways of doing it. I mean, but it's when it's I think there's a big difference. Like when that dog reacted to my granddaughter, that dog was on fire. Like, I mean, and my granddaughter's dad said it happened with like in just seconds. They were laying on the floor and all of a sudden that dog was on her. I mean, and they had been playing on the floor, but there was still no reason for him to react the way he did. And it was so bad that he couldn't get the dog off of her, and he was right there. It wasn't like he had to get to her. He was there on the floor with her. So that was I think it was a really valuable lesson for everybody about dealing with dogs that you're not sure. I don't think that dog had been around kids a lot, for one. I really
That's
don't.
the problem right there.
Oh yeah, well, so like
The dog was not around kids. See, when my
I
niece
don't know
did,
that, but I have a feeling.
my
See, when
dog
my-
hasn't been around kids a ton, but like when he's around my nieces and nephews, he stays on leash. Other than my older nephew,
Yeah.
that
See,
knows.
when my niece moved in, when my niece and her family moved in with us, we sat down and we introduced them. And then they became. My niece would get in her crate with her and just lay up on her, reading a book, using her as a pillow. They became two peas in a pod. But we took the time. We had taken her to obedience school as a kid, as a puppy, and our funny thing, the instructor looks at my mom and says, "Now, ma'am, she's a female. You're a female. You're gonna butt heads. She's gonna try to assert dominance. When she does that, you need to smack the crap out of her." And this woman with her little beagle a few feet away hears him tell my mom that, and she's like, "Do I need to do that?" He said, "Ma'am, if you do that to your beagle, you will scar him for life." It's You have to train them, and we took the time when my niece came around to get them acclimated to each other, and never, as long as my dog was alive, we never had a problem with them. But yeah, Tony G has a point. Kids are little bastards.
Well, they can definitely be, but like I said, you still have to be able to trust them dogs around kids regardless. And if you can't, then that's a problem. I don't give a shit what breed it is. And it's also one of the things that I say that, like with my daughter, she has a red heeler. We do not leave that red heeler alone with my grandson. It just doesn't happen because she's a great dog and she loves him. She is always all over him. She can't get enough of him and she literally loves him, but will never take that chance until he's big enough, obviously, an adult himself, before we would leave him with her. I just don't think you should do that with any animal. I don't think you should be leaving them, especially if they're in that, where they're mauling all over each other or whatever. You're asking for trouble if you just let them loose to do that. Remember, it is an animal, and they are kids, and they can do really mean shit to animals. So
that's one of the things that people that don't know the dog really well are more subject to get bit. I had my little wiener dog named RBD. That was his name, RBD. It stood for red butted dog.
That's funny because we had a wiener dog named Red. That's funny.
But he was a mama's dog, and he'd tuck down in the chair with him. And one of her brothers come over to the house. He goes, "Is that your guard dog?" I looked at him. I said, "You better believe that's her guard dog. He'll bite me if I go over there and tap him on the leg." He said, "What, like this?" And he went to slap her one time on the leg. He never touched her leg. And when he grabbed his hand, he shook it and broke his little finger and tore his hand open. And he said, "Oh my God." And I said, "Yeah, you want to slap Barb on the leg again?" He goes, "No, I don't think I'll ever be doing that again." Mm-hmm. But he had a little bad rib where a horse kicked him. And he would nail you if you'd go pick him up in the middle and didn't distribute the weight. And I would tell people, don't pick him up, because if you don't know how to pick him up, he's going to bite you. Because he has a permanent rib that wouldn't go back in place. Bet said it doesn't hurt him unless pressure's on it. So, but that just goes to show you, he was the funnest and happiest little go-lucky dog there ever was. But you come after me, well, more his mama than me, to tell you the truth. If you look like you want to hurt Barb, he'd chew you up. He was just a little bitty thing, man.
The things with wiener dogs is that I hated is every wiener dog I was ever around, once they shit on the floor, they never stop shitting on the floor. I don't care whose wiener dog it was, man.
There's ways to break them. There's ways to break them. The easiest way to train them, inside dog, is get you your piss pad and go outside, pull you some crap.
I don't understand these people. I don't get these people that do the piss pad thing.
No,
I'm talking about when they're little bitty and you got 4 foot of snow out there.
But that's only for like when they're a little puppy and they can't.
That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah.
People that train their dogs to use those pee pads and like just be cool with peeing indoors it's disgusting. Like those dogs indoors.
You come home, his eyes would be yellow and his tail would be in his butt before he'd pee or shit in the house.
Yep. The only time I'll find any pee or poop in the house or vomit is if he's sick. If he's okay, he will
Mhm.
sit there and hold it in. And
That's
just
the way
stop
our
drinking
dog,
water
our
and
Lhasa
let him.
Apso, he would not shit or piss on the floor for love or money. In
He-
fact, he had anal gland issues, and if something was on his butt, he would stand at the door and give me that look and go, like, I'm not coming in the house because you're going to kick my ass. And so then we would know we needed to go outside and see what the deal was. And of course, then it was usually we had to clean something up, and then we'd usually have to take him to the vet the next day and have something dealt with. But yeah, he was one of those dogs that he would not shit or piss on the floor for love or money. No way. He was a good dog.
Just think, how lucky is mankind to have dogs?
I
There's a
love dogs.
reason.
So-
There's a reason dog is God spelled backwards. We don't deserve dogs. Just think of it like this: they're only in your life for a short time, but you're in their lives their entire lives.
Oh.
You know,
No, I always say
we
to
don't
people
deserve
like,
dogs.
I always say to people, they say like that we domesticated cats. I'm like, no, we didn't domesticate cats. We just were able to breed cats small enough that they couldn't actually eat us, even though they want to.
Right.
But dogs
Cats are
get
still-
domesticated. Like dogs have an actual like symbiotic relationship with humans,
Perfect.
if you want to call it that or
Yeah.
whatever. But like they are our companions.
There are
I
protectors.
I feel like cats are completely just captured. The only one, I mean, like when people say, "Oh, they're domesticated," no, they're not. You just trap them in your house and you don't let them out. And if
Exactly.
you do let them out, those cats, you'll notice that they don't just stick around your house. They're gone.
Yeah,
They
wonder.
go do whatever they want, and then they come back because they think
Yeah.
you might have some
I've,
food. And
I've
they might
owned
sleep
several
with
in
you.
the back cats. Ain't never had a shit box once.
Yeah, I've seen some cool
Yeah.
videos where people have put like GoPro little mini GoPros
Oh, yeah.
on their cat's collars
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
like
Anya's right.
uploaded what their
Anya's
cat
right
does
in the
all
chat.
day.
Anya's right in the chat. We're cat slaves. Basically,
Yeah.
that's
Exactly.
it.
Oh, yeah. They could give two shits about us. They don't. I mean, we are a nobody to them.
I met
I
one guy that trained his cats like to do tricks and some of that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But I still feel like if he, stopped feeding them and I started feeding the cat for a little bit, they would be just
Yeah.
as interested in me as they were ever were in him.
Yep.
Did
Well,
you
that's
guys
true.
watch? Did you guys watch the thing Rick posted with the cats singing a parody of Bohemian
missed it.
Rhapsody?
I missed
No, but
it.
I
I
Oh,
did.
Gutter, you will pee your pants because it's these cats just telling the way it is, and it's the Bohemian Rhapsody, and it is the funniest thing. You have to watch it.
Yeah, I will have to go look because I seen he had posted something, but I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I'm gonna act like
See-
him and wait a week and then watch it.
Yeah, there you go.
We always
Like,
had swinging doors for our cat. That a door inside of our door where he could come and go what he wanted to. But if you've never had a pissed off gray squirrel sit in your lap, he didn't get to come in. He stole 14 German Shepherd puppies and brought them home.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
And I knew where they come from. Was taking them back in a box, and the lady pulled up in her van. And what happened? They had a gate, a double gate, one to let her out, to go outside in the backyard, and one to go in the front yard, and had a little space in between it. And somehow she got locked out. Well, he'd go over the fence, and next thing you know, I was coming back. I had 13 of them, and I seen him hit the top of the fence with another one. I said, "Son of a bitch, how many puppies did she have?" And so I carried him 13 over there, and she go, "By the way, here's your puppies." She go, "What are you doing with the puppies?" I said, "How many puppies did she have?" She said, "Yeah, she had 15." I said, "Wait just a minute," because I seen my cat bell over the fence. I said, "Watch the top of the fence." And this dog is losing her fucking mind. And she can't get to him either. And that cat come across that fence with that puppy in her mouth. She goes, "He's got a puppy." And I said, he brought all of these to my house. He ain't heard of one of them. I handed her puppies. I said, I'll go get the other two.
That's
she said, well, how do I
hilarious.
stop him from doing it? I said, don't let the gate close behind her and lock her out of her puppies. He just makes sure they're okay. But, dude, we had lizards, frogs, fucking mice. When he let the gray squirrel loose in my lap, I shut his. He wasn't allowed to go in and out without asking.
When my first pet was a black tabby cat named Sinbad. We had some townhouses beside the house I was growing up in, and I was in probably first or second grade. A young lady who worked there, she from Mississippi. She came over to our town to be an airbrush artist out at the beach. You know, those crazy airbrush shirts you can make. That's her job.
Oh, yeah.
So when she would go back to visit her family in Mississippi, we'd take care of him. We'd feed him. You know, he was basically like an indoor-outdoor cat too. Because my mom, when she moved back, she's like, I can't take him with me. Do y'all just want him? We were already close to him, and me and my brother, as little kids, we already loved him. So we took him, and you'd hear my mom did not want to deal with kitty litter. That's why she never kept him inside. She's like, I'm not dealing with that little cat shit.
Yeah.
But you'd hear, we had a wooden screen door, and you'd hear it pawing at it, and it would just kind of knock it against the wood. And that's when we knew, oh, it's time. Sinbad wants in. We'd let him in, and had him till about 6th or 7th grade.
I had our first cat turned into 22 cats.
Oh no!
We lived back on a back road. People would drop off dogs and cats and stuff, and only 2 other strays come up at the time. You'd open that back door and it ring, you know, but there wasn't a cricket, a snake, nothing in my yard. And you know, we lived out. We got a big old piece of property and stuff like that. It was cool to have them. But finally, we started finding homes for them. We got down to about 12 that, you know, all retired there and died there. And a German Shepherd who would steal kittens and nurse them. So that was the craziest thing you ever seen in your life.
Yeah, I remember one time I'm in 6th grade, and me and my mom are pulling up to the house, and we see Sinbad out beside the door, and he's got something in his mouth. It's a baby squirrel. He brought up a baby squirrel to the house, and I ended up wrapping him up. You know, this was a small, like maybe 2-3 inches. It was a baby squirrel.
All right, on. That's time to get him. Yes.
Well, we took him to like a vet. We're like, here, we can't deal with this. We had him wrapped up in a little rag, you know, to keep him warm, because it looked like this squirrel was just a few months old. We're like, here, take it, nurse it back to health, do what you want with it.
That small, he was probably days old.
Yeah,
they grow pretty fast. I've had a couple pet squirrels and sugar gliders. Them sugar gliders, they were tamed as they could be, and so were the squirrels. But you know, when he got up, the buck squirrel, when he got up to be bigger, you know, we just turn him loose. He'd come back and visit all the time, you know, come get free peanuts and shit. But the female squirrel we had, she never did leave. She from the time we found her to the time she died, she stayed at the house. Had her little run. She could come and go as she pleased, but she wouldn't leave the property. I think she had a close encounter with a hawk or something, because she wasn't about going out there in the wild world. She fuck that, you know. So I don't know.
Here's how good luck I have with cats. Here's my son's cat. Let me see if you guys can see it.
We're just seeing the reflection of your screen, basically.
Yeah, but I'm hearing the rah.
Oh, there it is.
What you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, cats are little shits.
I mean, it's so funny to me. You see the same look on, you know, a freaking lion as you do on your house cat.
He's trying to attack me. He's pissed off because his parents left.
The only difference is their size.
He's such a little bastard. He's not like this no more. He's actually pretty good with me. I tried
See,
to stick him in the other room and shut the door, but he wouldn't go.
My cousin, her and her husband at one time had a little miniature Doberman, and
Oh, that's
they lived.
crazy.
My grandmother's house had an apartment that they were living in at the time, and my grandmother lived next door. And my grandmother would open the door to the apartment, and this dog would at 5 o'clock every day would start running between the doors, looking out the front door, that my front window, because he knew his mom and daddy. She knew her mom and daddy were about to be home. Dogs are smart. I think they have a sense of time. They they're not dumb animals. But
Oh no, not at all.
on that note, I gotta head out. I got an early job interview tomorrow, so
Well,
Good
good
luck.
luck. Yes.
gotta hit the hay.
All right. I'm glad you came on, nerd.
All right, talk to y'all later.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You see, usually I'm the one that runs off.
I agree
know,
with
we didn't
Yank
give you a
about
chance.
people with cats, especially in the city, like letting them out. I think in the country or, suburbia, and even then, but in the city, they just let cats out, and, half the time they're roadkill, or they
Ew.
don't spade them. So now you have all these cats, and like they'll come in my yard and, start having babies. And I just think that's very cruel in the city to let the cats out like that.
Yeah, well, it always cracks me up that on the Ring, you'll get the notification if somebody's lost their cat. I actually put it on there that I don't want to hear about your lost dog, cat, chimpanzee. I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't want to hear
Mhm.
that it's lost. Okay, unless it's a kid. And so, but what always cracks me up when they're like, my cat hasn't come home for 2 days. It's a cat.
Yeah.
It might not come home for a week. It might not come
Right.
home for 6 months and then show
Right.
up on your doorstep.
And it might not come home at all.
A dog can trespass,
Yes.
but not a cat. Did you know that?
A dog can
They can
trespass,
get you
but a
for your
cat
dog
won't.
coming in their yard, but they can't for a cat. And yes, I had a parrot. His name was Critter,
Gross.
and he belonged to the coon that belonged to the pit. And that was a crazy wrestling match watching a coon and a parrot mix it up, bro.
Ugh. I can smell it from here. So we used to go to this one house. I won't say what we went there to get, but we used to go there, and this guy had a ferret. And I'm not kidding you. My friend would have to walk in like this, and she would. She walked in, and this is how she literally was the entire time we were in that dude's house, man. She could, and he'd say to us,
like a
he'd
skunk,
say to
man.
us,
You have to degland them.
no, it was degland, and he gave it a bath all the time, and blah 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 bullshit. It still smelled nasty. You couldn't pay me to have one of them damn things.
They got an
Nasty.
odor. They got an odor. But
I can't.
one of my favorite
Maybe.
animals I ever had was a rooster. So I'd go down the beach and I'd have a pit bull, a raccoon, a parrot, and a big old white rooster on my motorcycle.
We got a winning raid.
They'd freak out. Does that dog bite? I said, only if you mess with his coon. The coon bite only if you mess with it. Only if you mess with his parrot or his dog. What about the rooster? Oh, he just eats and shits. But
Hey guys, I'm gonna drop off.
All right, honey. Thank you for coming on, Mishka.
All right, take care. Bye bye.
Hey,
All right, honey. Take care.
How long
Same here.
How long you been on, sis?
I have been on for 2 hours and 46 minutes.
Oh man.
Way longer than I thought my head was going to let me be on, but I loaded up on a bunch of ibuprofen before I got on here. So, Heidi, thank you for coming on. And yay, thank you, Winning and Shelly. And yay. We had a winning raid. Oh, Yankee said grandkids got odors too, but yeah, don't hear us complaining about them. Oh,
Kids
yeah.
have definitely got odors.
Yank, I'm telling you what, I have the cutest grandson. You should have seen him. He was so cute. This kid has got soccer at 2 years old. He has soccer down. I mean, he is already kicking that ball. First of all, look at him with chicks. This is even better yet. Look at this. Look at that smile.
Hey,
He's just like, yo, what's up? So cute. So, anyways, here, let me show you something. This kid already has soccer down.
well, get him a real soccer ball.
We're gonna.
Or get him a football, a baseball. American.
He can kick. Oh, and mind you, just so you know, that's a country boy kicking that ball with Romeos on, clunky Romeos.
Oh shit! I
That's
just made a
pretty
bunch of. I just made a bunch of explosives for my game. I got bases to blow up in the middle of the night.
Oh, you're gonna go pick on the kids, are you?
No. This is retaliation.
What are you playing?
Yeah.
I play Rust.
You play Rust.
Yeah.
I play Rust.
No shit.
Yeah. what kind of server do you play on?
I'm on, I just started playing. I'm on the softcore one.
So the doctor and the lawyer are
Face
gonna
punch,
play
face
Rust.
punch one.
You're just playing on one of those.
Yeah, but it's still fun. I mean, dude, I'm 65 years old. This is the first video game I played since Pong.
Wow.
Or
Yeah,
maybe
no, I play on a 2x like clan server with some friends.
Really?
Yeah.
You're right, Ike. There's not.
Holler at me, man. I'm Mr. Duggar.
Well, I'm on Discord. Send me a DM and we can connect on Steam. If
What's
anybody else wants to play some video games, the same as
what's your put it in private chat or email. Let me email you. I've got one on my.
Are you in the Unstable Kids Discord? Do you do Discord?
Yeah, I have a Discord channel. Yeah.
So I'm in the Unstable Kids Discord. If you know,
Unstable Kids. And your name is what?
Arby in there or Tardby.
Spell it.
TARRDBY. I was making fun because I was being retarded. But I think if you search my actual name, just Arby, you'll find me in there.
ARBY?
Yeah, let me see here.
So if you send it to, if you post it right here, I'll email it to Mr. Duggar.
No, but like, you should just message me.
I'm old, dude. I can barely turn on a computer, much less do everything you want.
I'm trying to make it as easy
I'm learning,
as
bro.
possible.
Ooh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. No, I really like the school shooting games. Those are my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, I just made
Are you going to come up?
C4 and rockets, so.
Yeah, first day of our wipe on this server, I had 64 rockets before I went to bed. Dumbass friends didn't move them to the new base they built, and then my little shitty starter 2x1 got raided. So much for my 64 rockets.
Dude. Yeah, I've been there, done that. You know, and I buried we buried some in we made a
stash.
A refinery base, little small refinery base.
Okay.
And he had something down, some buckets. He placed a box. He buried them by the refinery and put a box on them. And gone. And I'm talking C4, bro. I mean, I had probably 20, 30 C4 and whatever rockets would fit in two soft pouches. I was so fucking mad, dude. I'd worked my ass off all day and they just went away.
Yeah, Rust is one of those games that can definitely be very infuriating. I've been playing those kinds of shooter survival games for a little while now.
Yeah, we had a raid defense that we fought for over 2.5 hours, dude.
Mm-hmm.
3 different teams. Then 2 Chads come in with a shitload of rockets, and you know, we couldn't repair it fast enough. They were badass. And but I high IQ'd them, dude. I knew they were all coming to raid, so I put around 100, 150, little over 100 landmines all around my base. And he goes, "Do you know how close I come to punching my computer screen?" Damn, I had them all everywhere you step out there, dude. There's nothing more satisfying than hear somebody step on a landmine.
Yeah, no. One of my friends set some landmines around base. People kept stepping on them, not realizing. That's my Steam in the private chat. But what size team are you playing on?
It's just me and a buddy.
Oh, just 2 of you. Okay.
Yeah, it's a guy I met on there.
Nice.
Do you see it, Mr. Duggar?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like I say, I used to play a lot of. I mean, I've been playing games since I was a kid, basically. So. Yep. But
Hey, Hollis.
yeah, these are the kinds of games I've been playing the past few years. The past like 4 or 5 years now.
And Mr. Duggars, if you look at chat, Sugar Britches posted the discourse channel for the unstable kids. I don't think you're in there, are you?
No.
But yeah, that's where I shit post most of the time.
Macklin, what's up? I sent your wife the link, Mac.
Yeah, I heard you say C4 and rockets, and I'm like, this dude's playing Rust. I'm crafting C4 rockets. This dude's playing Rust.
Oh, well, Blunt Man has been going to get on and play with him too. He said he forgot to go in and find him or whatever. So,
oh, well, Blunt Man should come play also. We could all play. It'd be fun. We'll get Gigi on too. You know, you can farm on there, Gigi. You can have a little like hemp farm.
No.
Yeah, you can have a little hemp farm. You can be on our team. I know how much you love farming.
Mr. Duggar will grow my hemp.
You can have an RV on the game. You can have a camper. We'll make an RV. We'll drive the map. You can have a little farm at your campsite.
Have a machine gun on the top of my RV.
Exactly. You know, fly around in helicopters over you. It'll be great.
She keeps all that shit from you. She does not, Mac.
I can't get it to go in.
No. That's what she said. What are you talking about? Wait.
I've got my Discord. If you come in on Face Punch One, you know, I'm not that good, man, but I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I can kill your ass. I can throw a grenade.
I'm just nerding out because like half the time in these groups.
No, but I want you to be in our Discord, Mr. Duggar. Here, I'll go copy it, and I will.
All right, well, Blunt Man, I got some friends when we get back into playing some Payday 3, or I'm down to get back into it. I just have to update it. I haven't played it since it first came out. I played Payday 3 like 25, 30 hours when it came out, and then the servers were effed and never picked up again because of all the problems. But I'm totally down to play some more of that for sure. They've put more content into it. Not a ton, but they put more content. I don't know. Oh, no, actually, I think it's PC only. But, yeah. I'll have to. Might be cross-platform. What are you playing on, Blunt Man? Are you playing on an Xbox? Are
you playing on Xbox, Mr. Duggar?
No, Blunt Man. Duggar's playing on the computer, I assume.
Yeah, I'm just on the computer.
Baxter is going down here.
But Blunt Man, if you're playing on the Xbox, you look into see if Deep Rock Galactic has cross-platform. I don't know if it's still on Game Pass, but that's a fun game. I like that game a lot for co-op games.
Okay.
I know it's on Xbox, but I don't know if it has cross-platform. But if you like co-op games, like I say, that's one of my favorites from the last 5-7 years.
So do you put the unstable kids part in there too?
Here, I got it. I got you, Mr. Doug.
Just post the link in the private chat so you can just hit it. That'll be the easiest thing for him. Here.
You do it. It takes you less time.
Did it.
There. We already did it. So click on Arby's link that's in the private chat.
Or link in the private chat. That'll take you to the Unstable Kids Discord that I was referring to. But yeah, Blunt Man, I typed it in. I was talking about Deep Rock Galactic. You get to be dwarves and mine in space and fight waves of, like enemies and stuff. It's a shooter. Fun.
Sugar bridges.
It's Gutter Pubs Live.
Wait. There's some hentai somewhere?
So who what?
So what? Yeah, what? No, you don't want to know about that.
So do what I hit StreamYard link? No.
Oh no, that's just the Discord channel. Where everybody hangs out. It's kind of like Gutter's home Discord, like you were saying. You have your Discord.
So you should be in there now. Can you see whether he's in there or not? Let me look.
Yeah, people are saying hello to him.
Okay. He just said hi to you. So now you can even friend up him. So like you could actually become friends with RV.
How to do that?
Let's see.
See, that's me that just replied to you with the middle finger. The dignified middle finger.
So if you click on Arby's thing, it'll say add as friend. Like there's message, voice call, video call, or add friend. You can click add friend and then it'll friend request. Then you guys can like have a conversation without 900 other people in the conversation.
I don't know. Other people might want to be flies on the wall for this experience.
Maybe. You might have secrets though.
Oh. What?
Why are you not my friend on here? How come it says you're not my friend, Arby? The fuck?
Because I'm an asshole.
Knock it off.
Ignore.
I will kick your ass. I'll keep friend requesting you over and over.
Oh, I got his Gutter stuff. I don't have
Don't worry about it. I know how to find you now.
He knows how to find you. He's gonna hunt you down.
In the Unstable Kids Discord, I can find you.
Okay, now we got it. See, we're so good. Mr. Duggar's like, I'm just as lost as I was 5 minutes ago. We ain't got good nothing.
He's like, so when a bird assaults another bird.
Okay, add by username. Sure. And your new username is Mr. Duggar, right?
Yeah.
Who would you like to add as a friend? Mr. Duggar. Send friend request. Watch, it'll send it to somebody else named Mr. Duggar. You watch. It's my kind of luck. Okay. There. Okay, thanks, Yank. Not sure if I'd enjoy that. Enjoy what? Porn. Japanese animation.
Oh, Brent's
This
helping
is Mac. What's up, darling?
Well, we still talking now.
Oh,
Hey,
it's no big deal, honey. You didn't miss much. We just bitched a little. No, we didn't even bitch a little. We just discussed the Trump and Elon thing, and then
Did we even actually discuss that? I don't know if we ever
not a
did.
whole lot. Not a whole lot. No, actually, you guys didn't. I said some stuff, and you guys said stuff in chat, and that was about it.
don't get
So
me
yeah,
fired up about it.
why were you not impressed?
They
I would have rather
they put him in a kill box. Period. Everybody that was involved in the upper echelon needs to be held to account for that. When you got something like a Pac-Man with his mouth open, with the only spot in the world, that was just like,
So, didn't you think it was? Didn't you think Trump's reaction to it was a bit strange? Like, oh, they did the best they could. Fuck you. That was not the best you could have done.
well, what do you want him? What do you want him to do? Cuss the
I
people
want
out?
him.
Watch
Well,
it.
I think it's the
Hell
way.
yeah. You
I
know
think
what? Nobody. When I've said this for how long? If you're shamed, you tend to want to do better. And had he, instead of make it sugarcoating shit and make it look like they did a great job, they didn't do a good job. They
I think
fucked up
the way,
tremendously.
from having listened to him a lot over the past 10 years or so, I think the way that he looks at things is that the individual agents are not at fault, that they do their job, that it's the system of people that may have failed him. um, he's always been about the individual soldier, the individual police officer. So I think it's hard for him, because he is a 70 whatever year old guy,
Let me too.
Well, then I
to
guess
kind
he
of
didn't
balance
see
that
the
out.
individual standing there not figuring out how to put her gun back in her holster. She stood around
No,
there
he
like
did
she
not
was.
see that.
Yeah,
He,
he was on JD Vance's crew the other day out there
yeah, but he
at the
no, he didn't.
airport.
And he's there in the moment, living it, not examining it from the outside.
Well, you can't tell me he ain't went back through and seen that video and not went, what in the fuck was she
I
doing?
don't know if he has or hasn't. I'd have to ask him. It's a trauma for a person. He might not have gone back and watched any of that video. He might not have any interest in doing so. I don't know.
Dude, if you don't think the hand of the living God was protecting that man, I don't
Well,
know.
because we know it sure as a hell wasn't any of those alphabet agencies protecting him.
That was a chip shot. I can literally put 3 rounds in a quarter at 150 yards with my 223. So I mean, they lucky. He is so lucky, and I think it was divine intervention myself.
So I've said this to people, like, even if you don't see it as God protecting him for him, I mean, if you're a religious person, you can see it as God protecting America. Because honestly, if he had been killed that day, I think there would have been a lot of violence.
Oh,
I don't know what would have happened exactly, but I think there would have been a lot of violence.
there's been quite a few. Yeah, I think it'd been a start of a civil war. They'd have got what they wanted.
Well, I don't think we'll get a civil war, but I think it would have kicked off a whole bunch of right-wing violence that could have, turned out as right-wing extremism because 3 people fought with police at a demonstration or whatever. We got to crack down. That's what would have happened.
What? They're trying to crack down on somebody besides 72-year-old grandmas who are praying for the country on the steps. Was in the building for less than 10 minutes.
Well, you know what their mistake was? They didn't wear pussy hats.
That's what it is.
From now on, whenever I commit a insurrection, I'm just gonna wear a pussy hat. That's all.
And see, they keep saying that it was us doing that. They were doing an insurrection on Joe Biden. Joe Biden wasn't the president. The insurrection was against Trump.
Well, listen. I mean, it was a riot. What happened? What happened on January 6th at the Capitol was a riot. If anything, they should be making. The argument they could make about insurrection is the whole elector scheme, but they've yet failed to prove that in court.
Yeah. It's still coming out. I think we're going to see a lot of stuff. I believe some red flags are coming.
You mean like a
the
false
current-
flag?
No, I'm talking like maybe them bust a dirty bomb off or have one launched and get shot down.
But when you say like a red flag, do you mean something like the government's gonna make a fake attack on us?
It might not even be fake. It might be I don't believe it's going to be fake. You know, they brought in a lot. They've got a lot of Chinese people brought in here. They've got a lot
Or
of
allow a terrorist attack to happen or something.
You know, it's attack from within for the outside attack.
Mm-hmm.
And,
so not necessarily like a false flag, but like 9/11, potentially something that they just like let happen.
Exactly. Oh, you know that was a planned demolition, just by the way it fell.
I mean, well, there was some story I saw about like they arrested some Iranian who got into the country, or I don't remember. Was
Actually, a
Pakistani.
Pakistani.
A Pakistani who got into the country. But the FBI actually knew he was here, and he was part of some like other plot to take out Trump.
Oh yeah.
Like what the fuck? And the FBI just kind of like let him in, like knew he was in the country, and just like, what the hell is going on here? I mean, we all know. I'm asking a rhetorical question because, like, I know we're going to give a similar answer.
Yeah.
Excuse me for a minute.
But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to me, the world we live in. That's why half the time I vacillate, back and forth between, hey, I'm just gonna like laugh at all this shit because I, am a, just an average person with no control, or I'm gonna get angry about it. And I'm like, there's no point getting angry. I'm just gonna laugh about it because it's ridiculous.
I don't think we should get angry. I think we should fucking get organized to what we need to do. Seriously. No, I'm not doing it, Tony. She won't have anything to slap you over the head with when she needs you to straighten out if I do that, Tony. What do you think?
Oh. Let me see.
Tony said we need to get organized and naked.
Just get in a big old pile.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like what Yank was just saying. I mean, it's fucking Truman Show. Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's so obvious with all the Kamala stuff. Like, all of it is just social media BS. To the point that they're like posting ads that look like, news articles that are manipulated to make it sound like she's a normal fucking human being and not some weird manufactured like lizard person.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
It does feel like we're living in a Netflix
Vice
show.
president never had a vote cast for her.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Of all the insane shit.
But she's black and a woman, and don't even mention that she was Indian. She's black and a woman.
Was.
Not to mention the callus on her knees.
Well, I mean,
And yet they have these fucking sheeple, like Hillary Clinton and all those leaked emails talks about the sheeple. Yeah, the sheeple are the fucking Democrat voters who don't see that their own party, which is a private entity that doesn't give a shit about democracy, installed another figurehead that they're all going to spurg out on so they can be on the right side of history and vote for the black, woman for president, not realizing that they're voting for the most radical fucking nutbag that's out there.
Oh, to
Hillary,
see
The hollow shell of a human being. The fucking Joker. Cackling away.
I don't know.
Seriously, I think we need a goddamn EMP to go off. That's what I think.
Oh, Jesus.
Send us back to the Stone Age.
You know what? That might be a really good thing. It would definitely weed out the weakest.
Yeah, and it would force us to have to rely on each other that are like local again.
Well, and it also forced us to rely on ourselves versus a bunch of shit.
And it would require us to not be like nameless, faceless people anymore that just order shit
Right.
off Amazon and it shows up to our
Yes.
door by some, nameless, faceless human that just drops shit off.
Well, and then we'd
Just
have to actually work for tangible shit then too. Like
Mhm.
really work.
You're not gonna be a social media influencer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I worked my ass off all my life, and these people with I deserve a free education that on the backs of somebody else. I don't agree with it.
Yeah, it's your own fucking fault you took out goddamn predatory loans. Like, I worked hard to pay off my loans. I took out loans. I worked
Yep.
before I went to school for my graduate degree. I worked while I was in undergrad so I could pay for it. Like, I had no life when I was in college because I worked 30 hours a week at a job so I could pay for school. Like, went to a state school, local.
Good
The
night,
only
Amy.
advantage I got was living at my parents' house,
Thanks for
not having to
coming
pay
in.
rent. But, at the end of the day, I weighed these things out when I made a decision. I don't give a shit if you have a women's studies, the gender studies, what was that, the critical dance theory or whatever degree, so you can break dance at the Olympics. I mean, I get it, she's Australian, but like, we shouldn't be paying for that shit. It's useless. It's fucking pointless.
Well, and to be making mockeries, and I mean, just everything that's going. It's like, come on. I just feel like we're just a big joke at this point. Nothing's.
All
It's
the
I
money
never
they
imagined.
spend with no accountability or record of where all that money went.
It doesn't matter. They just print money. Who cares where money goes? They just fucking print it. Money doesn't mean anything anymore.
And then you got not once, but you had Obama send a big old plane full of money, and then Biden sent a big old plane of money, both of them to Iran. So I don't know, man, how they get away with that stuff. It's been proven that he has that he was taking money from other foreign countries that are deemed hostile to us. I mean, you sat there and showed where he did a prid quo on that guy that he got fired that was wanting to investigate Burisma for his son. I mean, just comes out and says it. Hey,
Oh yeah,
if he ain't fired, then I'm leaving with the money.
that's right. You ain't getting no
That
money.
was a quid pro, right there.
You go ahead. You call. What did he say? You go ahead and call him. I'll be leaving with the
He
money.
took classified documents that he never had the right to remove because he was not president. And anything that Trump took, it was just declassified if he took it. So
like everything else, like I was talking about before with jobs, we live in a society where the machines control everything. Not literally freaking Skynet or whatever, but like, the system controls everything and we're all just slaves to it.
yeah. I don't know, man. It's not the world I grew up in.
Well, LW, if you want a plane load of money, go start making some nuclear weapons. I mean, nuclear power, and convince the world that you got it and you mean business, and you'll see, plane full of pallets of cash landing on your airports. But make sure you do it while a Democrat is in office, because, their foreign policy is bend over and take it. America is bad. And then turn around and go, Daddy, please give me more. Thank you. Wee! Yeah, that part's important.
LW, how about them Astros, boy? 7 in a row.
Why is LW not up here talking? I mean,
his phone's probably not charged. He's the new J Dub.
oh, he's the new Jane. Phone ain't charged. Don't have good enough internet.
My boss is telling me that we're 2 hours too late for his evening walk. So
Oh, you're screwed now.
yeah, I'm gonna take off. It's nice to
You're
chit
taking.
chat.
I'm glad you came
I'll
on.
be in the I'll be watching. I'll be here for a while.
Harvey, it's nice meeting you, little brother.
Nice to meet you too. Good luck with your raid. I hope you foundation wipe those fucking assholes and make them wish. How long of a wipe are you playing on? Also, that was my other question.
It's a month-long wipe.
A month wipe. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm on Face Punch softcore.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just wondering how long the wipe on there is. I'm not on there to look, so
That's my training place. You know what I mean?
No, it's good. It's good. It's, there's a lot to learn in the game, and it's not simple. So,
Dude, I got a badass John Wick pistol. I made it out of a Glock. that thing's so cool, dude. It's got a silencer, one of them big handmade sights, extra capacity mag, and a flashlight on it.
nice.
It looks just like something John Wick would use. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, just don't get too obsessed. You're gonna be spending so much money on skins. Oh my god.
I'm not one of them. I'm not one of those guys, dude.
Yeah, it's easy to get sucked in.
Yeah, that's what you know.
Oh,
I wouldn't mind having a nice fit. You know what I mean?
yeah. Harass Blister Bill for never seeing John Wick. All right, I'm sicking you guys on him. Now you guys have no. Have a good night.
Good night, Arby.
And Bill, you have a homework. You can go watch John Wick. Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Y'all have a good one.
All right, you too, Arby.
Take care.
Bye bye.
I was just fixing to go too.
Was ya? Well.
Now I got you all to myself. I don't want to leave.
Oh yeah, we're just a hanging.
Hello, baby.
Hey, what's up?
Fancy
I
meeting
don't
you.
hardly hear. I don't hear the bird. What did you do to the bird?
I slapped him around with a ping pong bat.
What'd you do? Put a blanket over him and he's taking a nap?
No, he's already had his singing. He had his singing. He just had a bath. Now he's back in the corner fluffing up.
Is he?
Yeah, he already had it. He went off. He went off a while ago. He heard my nephew's canary going off. And man, I wish there was some way I could get a mic in there where he could hear it, where we could actually hear what he says.
Right.
I know three things he says. He says "pretty bird," of course. He says "shut the fuck up," and bird.
Bird.
I always say bird when I come in the house.
Right.
Bird.
Right.
And but he shut the fuck up. And
so with our parakeets, we used to turn the water on and just let it drizzle out of the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
And then we'd open the cage and they'd go over and they'd bathe themselves. They loved it. And if the water was on, you had to make sure that if my mom was doing dishes or I was doing dishes, we had to make sure the bird cage was closed and they were in it. Because if not, we put bleach in our water and they'd go right into that water, man. They had no problem. They loved the water. So you had to always make sure that
he used to never stay in the cage, except at night. And then I moved in with Barb, and he left one of his little green and white pellets up there on one of her curtains. He was banished back to the flower room from then on, and because she had a bunch of antiques in that fucking house, and but now he makes calls like a red-throated finch and Oreo, because we had an Oreo right outside our window. They had a nest and a bunch of them little house wrens. And so he makes all them noises, and it sounds just like them. He warbles just. I ain't kidding you. If you ever heard one of them birds warble, and then listen to his warble, you'd swear that's what it is, man. So I mean, I ain't seen my damn macaws, man. I'm not macaws. What do they call them damn things? Um, oh yeah, Heckle and Jekyll. Not what was it? Starts the
Magpies?
magpie. I've got a bunch of big magpies that come around my house. I haven't seen them in a few weeks, so I think they're up near a little cooler up the mountain.
Yeah.
But they'll I have one that I have a rope that hangs right outside my, cowboy rope lasso that hangs out right in front of my window. He'll get on that thing, turn upside down, and tap my window.
Oh, wow, you just froze. That's weird. Good night, Yank. He'll come back. It'll unfreeze here in a minute. At least it froze him on a good spot. Somebody clip that. He looks so happy. They did this the other night on Fools' Live, too. Good night, Yank. Thank you for coming, honey. Isn't he? Look at that big smile, Ms. Mac. He's so cute. Oh, he started to come back. There you are.
Kicks me off. That kicks me off one time a night, every night. It doesn't kick me
I
off.
know.
It's so weird.
It is.
Well,
it's a little glitchy. It's
my buddy messaged me, and I gotta go.
all right. Well, you have a very good night, Mr. Digger. I'm glad you came on.
Love you, sis.
Good night, darling.
Take
Love
care
you.
Take care of your little bit self. Chat, y'all. Somebody crawl up here with her and keep her company. Thank y'all for coming in and supporting my girl. She's a sweetheart. I don't care what TF says about her. I like her.
Yeah, we don't care what he says.
Fuck him. All right,
I'm glad you came on, Mr. Duggars, and good luck in your game. Kick some ass. All right. Bye-bye, honey. All right. Well, we did good. We did 3.5 hours. We don't have to make it 6 hours by no means. And I'm definitely ready to go lay down and rest as you can see, my eyes are starting to get puffy. I'm ready to go rest my head, I think. I'm so glad y'all came and hung out with us. It was a great night. Remember, y'all, I send out lots of links. I don't send out all the links. If there's somebody that wants to come on and I haven't sent you a link, if you just let me know, usually I can send you a link. And I just try to think of the people that I think would want to come on and talk about it. And so that's why I send those ones. But please don't think that I don't love you all, because I do. I love you all. And thank you so much for hanging out. Again, you'll see me again on Friday. Twice actually on Fridays. Once for my Friday coffees, and then once for trivia with Joey on the West Virginia College channel. So college football channel. So make sure y'all go check that out too. And thanks so much. Good night. If there's any links you're looking for, make sure you look for them in the description. You should be able to find them there. Again, love yas. And thank you so much. I think I'd be quicker at this, but I'm not. All right. Love yas. Remember, without you, I wouldn't be here. Good night.